I'm going to give you a quick demo of our CTN Network website, ctnnetwork.net. Join our community. It is free. You just type in ctnnetwork.net, and this is the homepage right here. And if you want to create an account, you would just click up here and create new account right here. Sign up with your email, or you can sign up with just clicking on Facebook or Google. So you can sign up with your Facebook account or your Gmail. So I'm already signed up, so I'm going to click in Gmail right here, and it's going to log me in. And as you can see, this is our home page. Click on creators right here, and this shows you all the CTN family members that are content creators. Everybody is on here. If you want to go to one of their YouTube channels, for example, if you want to go to Crypto Talk Now, just click on channel, and it takes you right over to the YouTube channel for that particular creator. And you click on community. This is our community right here. We do have a forum, and this is a forum where you can post things, you can interact with one another. And there's also a blog right over here that we post our own content on. And if you click on CTN Studios, you can watch our live show and other content creators' live shows right through this CTN Studios. We do have advertisements for some of the content creators. There's the Crypto Smith, there's Waddy, the Crypto Hunter, and we also have live charts for the ISOs right in this box right here. We have a feature where you click on the heart if you want to donate to us. You can donate with Ethereum or Binance, BNB. And also, if you click on this button right here, we're going to have a call-in feature, which is already live. If you want to call us, just click on the green icon, the green phone icon, and click on call now. And during the show, between 9:15 and 10, when we announce it, when Max is on or when I'm on with Max, we will start accepting phone calls, and you guys can be live with the show. If you want to turn your video on, you can come on camera as well. So good stuff there. Now back onto the homepage. If you click on members, you can see all the people that are members here. All these people here, like Chaka just signed up, Gills33, Miguel. All these people here are members of our community. So you guys can sign up, and then you can chat with one another. So you can either click over here, message right here. So what I'm going to do, guys, is I'm just going to welcome him. I'll send him a quick message, and then I can click enter or just a little arrow. If you want to message somebody else, you can click on message, or you can go right over here into members chat and go ahead and message them and create a new chat if you want by clicking this little button right here. Now also, if you scroll down here, you can see some of the past videos that our content creators in our content creator family have created. You can go in here and watch some of the recorded videos. They're scrolling down here. Just choose one to watch. And that's it, guys. Thank you for watching this brief demo. Make sure you sign up so you can interact and be part of the community when we are not on the live show.
Hello and good evening, everybody. Glad to have you here for another day of Utility Talk Now. And of course, this show, just as a reminder, is now twice a week. Obviously on Mondays, same time, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific, but also on Wednesdays at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. But without further ado, let's welcome our wonderful co-host of Utility Talk Now. It's the one, the only, Sean the Crypto Smith. How you doing tonight, Sean?
I am better than most, I think. I mean, in my own head, I'm better than most, but I'm doing pretty well. Not too bad. It's been I don't know, man, ups and downs. We've had, it seems like good news. You got green charts occasionally, and then you got bad news with government agencies going after other crypto projects and stuff. It's it's just we can't catch a break. We need like a solid week long of just some decent news, right? But I think we might be a little ways away from that.
Well, we'll see how that goes. Going to give you guys a brief announcement. So on today's show, for today's outline, we are going to jump into part 2 of Mr. Cypress Superior Trading's video of, like it says, breaking down Cypherium, lies on top of lies, no location, etc., etc. Now, before we jump into the outline, we, of course, will recognize our wonderful community audience by welcoming some of you guys and pointing out some key things. We also want to state this before we get into tonight's outline, and that is, of course, none of this is financial advice. Please do more of your own research. We are not telling you to either buy more Cypherium or to get out of Cypherium. And if anything, we will also give the community response to some of the recent FUD. And of course, you can make your own decision as far as what you're going to do from there. But let's go ahead and, of course, do just that. Start welcoming our wonderful community that's here tonight. Smash that like button if you haven't done so already. And guys, we really appreciate you being here tonight with us. All right, let's see. We have Stump Rider, who right before, I guess, the show started, became a YouTube member, or I should say, became a CTN official member. That is so cool, Stump Rider. You rock, man. We really appreciate that support. And you've been a loyal, faithful viewer / listener, supporter of CTN. So that really means a lot. And I can't thank you enough, man. This is me giving you virtual dabs through the metaverse. Not really, but you know what I mean.
You're not fisting, right? You're giving them a fist bump, right?
DGen talk now. Utility talk now with the DGen talk now.
Let's not start that.
All right.
Stump Rider, you know what? You could not be supporting a better YouTube channel. I'll tell you that right now.
You rock too, man. And you're part of this as well, obviously. So, and guys, if you haven't done so already, like I mentioned, please subscribe to Sean the Crypto Smith. Before we kick it more further down, this, of course, is Larry we mentioned. And by the way, welcome back, Larry. So glad to have you here last night, back in the format. I thought you had a pretty good show. But yes, I want you guys to check this out just real quick. I know you saw the brief intro. And, you know, a cool thing that we do is, you know, we have utility on our site. So if you go over to creators and you click on this, you can see yours truly, Sean Crypto Smith. You just simply go to his channel where it says the Crypto Smith. You click on that, or you could go right through YouTube, where you prefer, but it will take you to his YouTube channel. And now he's real close. Hopefully on this show, he can tick up to 1.80K. That'd be cool. But yeah, I mean, look at all the ones he covers. Some of his recent videos, obviously, XRP and so on. He does lives. You know, you could just tell him real quick, Sean.
Yeah, live stream every Saturday. That's kind of my thing. And I have an issue with live streaming myself, right? I don't really care to do live streaming by myself, but you know, I'm committed to doing it, and I need to probably pick up another day where I'm just live streaming myself. So yeah, if you guys want to check me out on Saturdays, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 Pacific, and I talk about generally whatever is going on in the crypto world that, you know, this week. So that's what I'm going to cover. So unfortunately, lately it's just a lot of bad news.
Right,
but,
absolutely.
Yeah. So what I'm looking for, if you guys have a DGen project that you guys want me to check out, you know, I'm looking for something a little more entertaining, maybe for the next Saturday stream.
Hey, you know what? People do the DGen route and so on, and there's nothing wrong with that if that's your thing. But nonetheless, we're not talking about DGen tonight. We're talking obviously about utility, ones with real utility, and you know, basically is Cypherium one with real utility. So you know, let's jump back into the comments just for a brief bit, because we have quite a few more people we want to go ahead and welcome. So if anything, I'm just going to leave Sean's page up while more people filter in. Want to welcome Mr. Twitch Radio. Thank you for being here. And let's see here. Smashed the like for yeah. All right, cool. Thank you, man. Nice. Salamander. Yes. He says, hello, freedom fighters. Right on. Welcome, Salamander. Up next, we got Boomer Effin' Sooner, who says, hello, Sir Larry, Mighty Max, and Super Sean.
What's up, Effin' Sooner? I love it.
All right.
Love to see everybody here.
Yes, absolutely. Sobo's in the house. Thank you so much for being
Hey,
here,
Sobo.
Sobo. Always great having this lady here. Wonderful educator. And I also saw one of the compliments you gave me on my intro, I guess, for today for Jasmine. Cool stuff. I'm glad that was well received. I've been getting a lot of compliments on the intro, so I mean, I really appreciate that, especially on like just the regular videos that we put out, not necessarily the intro for the show, but that's cool stuff. Just saw we ticked up to 41. I always have like kind of like this rule now in my head, that we got to have at least 40 or more to kick it into the juicy stuff. So we'll get into that here in a bit. I promise. I just want to welcome a few more people, but yeah, awesome to have you here, Soba. Always appreciate you. Means a lot. Thank you very much. All right, let's go further down. We got Stevie who's in the house. He says, hello. Is it Stevie you're looking for? No, not Lionel Richie, but apparently this person that looks like a real person mixed with like Terminator AI or whatever, right? Cyberdyne, Skynet, right?
Oh,
Welcome,
yeah.
Stevie. Yeah. I still say T2 Judgment Day was the best of the movies. And how about this for size? If you guys have not seen Terminator, the Sarah Connor Chronicles, oh my gosh, that was one of my favorite TV series of all time. And they only had 2 full seasons. It's so sad. Such a great show. Anyway, I'm going to go further down. We're going to welcome Mr. Brian Dowie. Says, sup, Max? Sup, Sean?
What's up, Brian? Good to see you.
Good to have you here, Mr. Brian Dowie, as always. Stevie states Bitcoin price looks to be going to 25,500 now. That's cool stuff. Again, thank you again, Stump Rider. Says, hi, CTM fam. Hello back to you. Again, thank you. Not Sherlock Holmes, but Crypto Holmes. 777's back. Welcome back. Glad to have you.
Crypto Holmes.
Rayan's back. He says, Boomer, my man. Drinking my banana and avocado and milk. I'm good. Thank my Lord. Well, cool, man. I know that's your type of drink. You always consistently drink that. As you would say, you got the not just the fat juice, but you got the good fat juice with the omega-3s, healthy fat. I don't know what else.
I'll tell you. You know what? I can do the banana and the milk, and I love avocado. I absolutely love avocados. I cannot drink avocado for some reason.
Huh?
It doesn't want to stay down.
Oh,
yeah, that's weird. Good. I can eat all the avocados all day long, but as soon as you liquefy it into some drink, I cannot drink it.
That's interesting. Huh? It might like activate some kind of chemical compound or something. I don't know. All right. Yeah. Welcome to that wonderful visualization at Utility Talk Now. Okay. Let's welcome me. Is it me you're looking for? Lionel Richie. Yeah, you knew I was going to say at least once on this show. Gonna welcome CHST Bet in Gorilla. Chess Bet in Gorilla. Okay. We are going to beat the cabal, the World Economic Forum, Bitcoin to the moon. Cool. Thank you for being here. Welcome.
All right.
Hopefully I'm pronouncing your name right. And I want to welcome Open Mind, who is open-minded. He says, hello, everybody. Welcome back.
Open Mind. Good to see you.
River's in the house. Glad to have you here, Mr. River. Riplar Prepper's in the house. Good to have you also, Mr. Riplar. All right. Cool Cat Crypto, Cypherium Classic 2.0. I don't know. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
There he is, Mr. Tim Shea. Welcome. Tim Shea says, hey, welcomes everybody. He's on top of everything. The Crypto Professor. I guess that's supposed to be me. The Crypto, the Mayor Crypto, the Crypto Commissioner. My bad. Welcome, Tim. I didn't pick the title of Crypto Professor. People have been saying that since like last year. I think the first guy who started calling that was shout out to Common Sense, not Richard Common Sense Crypto, but our Common Sense. His name is Todd. Really good guy. I need to get him a holler up sometime. All right, let's see here. We're gonna welcome just a few more people. We're gonna kick it into our outline. Guadalino Reyes, welcome. Why is the website CPH not updated? That's a good question. Maybe we'll get into some of that.
Good question.
Stop at the elbow. Huh, interesting. Rayan, why Cypherium is so important. Why can't we buy in confidence? Stellar, XRP, HBAR, Jasmine. Okay, thank you for that. Salamander states, yes, a gorilla can basically, I guess, fart on the CC. Elizabeth Warren, Sam Bankman-Fried, and Caroline. Yeah, I'm cool with that. Yeah,
I can't disagree. No disagreement here.
Yeah, especially Elizabeth Warren, but I don't want to turn this into politically. Anyway, Blackwood, evening, everyone.
Good
Good to
evening,
have you
Blackwood.
here, Blackwood. And I was glad to give you the shout out the other day and then retweet that. All right, let's see where we're at. Thanks, Max. CTN is a wealth of information. I enjoy the whole team and subscribers. Very cool stuff, man. Really appreciate that. The quality of stream is poor. Why can't I even read what is on the screen? I don't. If anybody else is having the same problems, please let me know. Let me double check the other screen.
It looks like everybody else says theirs is fine, so I think it was just his. He said he might be
Okay.
late on his internet bill, so maybe they're
Oh,
giving him
jeez.
a warning. Here's a warning shot.
That's horrible. Oh, I see that now. Yeah, they don't. I don't know if they would do it that way. You know
No,
what I mean?
I don't.
Like,
No, I
what
don't
kind
think
of
so.
what kind of place would do that? You know what I mean?
Let's
Like,
just give him crappy internet for a couple days.
yeah,
Maybe he'll get the hint.
it's like Nazi Germany meets Web 3. I mean, come on. Magic Powers back. He says, "Hello, guten Tag, Liechtenstein Exchange, Jasby in the house. Yes, welcome." All right, AZ Marine Sniper, what's up? Good to have you here. Thank you for posting in the jazz we recorded earlier. That was really cool. But yeah, welcome back, AZ Marine Sniper.
Welcome.
Someone just says T2 in the Matrix is a must watch. I agree, but the first Matrix. All right, the other ones are okay. The first Matrix is great. T2 Judgment Day might very well be the greatest sequel of any movie ever made. Let's be honest. All right, John Crispala, what's up, guys?
Hey, John, how you doing?
All right, cool stuff. Welcome. Mr. Lambo's Crypto Talk says, with Coinbase and Binance in hot water, is crypto here to stay or is it fading away? That's a nice rhyme too.
It could be a rap lyric right there. I mean, here's the, I guess, just the realistic response is crypto is here to stay. I mean, obviously it can change forms. It's probably going to change hands and who's really going to control it at some point in the future. And that's the entire point of these lawsuits are to get crypto moved over to JP Morgan, right? And the big banks, and they want them to control crypto and get it off of these other centralized exchanges, except maybe Coinbase, if they're the chosen one. But that's, in crypto custody now. I mean, you see NASDAQ. NASDAQ is actually looking at custodying Bitcoin, right? So, these are major players that are getting involved now. And if the SEC and now the CFTC looks like they're going along with old Gerber Gensler's master plan, going after Binance. Now, they may have a different reason and came up with a different reason to go after Binance and CZ. So something about some insider trading accounts. I didn't read a whole lot into that today, but I didn't see the BNB token go down, in price. So I'm not sure what was up with that. Obviously, he's outside of the U.S. He's probably not that concerned. I don't think most states here can even trade with Binance, can use Binance, right? You can use the Binance US. It depends on the state you're in, but most of us here cannot use Binance anyway. So
yeah, I
don't really think it's too big a deal.
Very true. I had to go Binance US originally to this is like the early days of 2021. So I originally had to go the Binance US route, take the money from there, then send it to KuCoin, and I don't know. I remember that was a mess.
I've always used KuCoin. I don't think I've ever really used too many. I mean, I've used MEXC to get some of the smaller ones, but KuCoin for almost everything I've done, and a couple of crypto.coms. But I mainly use KuCoin. I'm pretty much attached to them, just because they did me such a solid, a couple of years ago, and they gave me my money back when I sent it to a wrong address, and I thought I lost $2,000 forever, and then about a week later it ends up back in my account. So I was super stoked about that.
Yeah, if anything, that's why, and I'm not going to do a real long thing on this because I want to welcome just a couple more people and we'll kick it into a loud one. That's why I'm probably going to load up another bag of this. Has no community, but when people have a go-to staking platform, let's face it, there's people that still stake with all the FUD. If KuCoin in the bull market ends up being the go-to platform for staking once again, this thing will kick in. And I already saw it happen last time. This went up to about 63 cents or something like that. It was not too bad. And basically, this is just a strict utility token. There's no community, but it is the the token that's rewarded to you, I should say, for staking. It's just as a bonus to what you normally stake with whatever coin or token you have from KuCoin. Already have a bag of this, but at these prices, I'm just saying, it's thrown out there. You can do more of your own research. But yeah, proof of liquidity token. I think it's going to surprise a lot of people. Anyway. All right, let me get back into what we have. We're going to welcome just a couple more people. I want to welcome Ahmed and Mr. M. Evans. Hi, all. It could be a Mrs. I don't know. Just discovered the channel a week ago and love, heart all the content. Well, that's awesome. That is so cool. Thank you for that. That's really cool. I don't know. The Godfire Part 2 was pretty. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, that's a very good point. All right, McDizzle's here. Crypto Mike, he says banks want to be the exchanges so they can suck you dry in fees, excuse me, and hold custody, getting 10 to 16% interest and give you 0.02%. That's a good point.
Yep. Sounds like a good game plan to me.
Yeah. Ahmed says he bought the dip for veracity. Cool stuff. And McDizzle says banks can eat a like that one guy
like
from
squash
the video.
Yeah.
Actually, eggplant. Yeah, you can eat an eggplant. How about that? Let's keep it. Yeah. Elk Finance can bypass all that. That's true. 1.6 million supply and under 300K market cap. Yeah, very good point. And it's crazy stuff. All right. So Big Kahuna is back. Welcome back. Thank you for your service. They want to tokenize assets, then create index funds so they can classify them as types of securities. All right, let me go further down. I want to welcome Coochie Boy as well. I think we're close to it, and we are pretty much at the bottom. So that's cool stuff. I'll read this real quick. KuCoin has a great selection of Bitcoin pairing tokens, and it's very user friendly. Yeah, it is very user friendly. I mean, I know some people when they first try it out, they're like, "Oh man, I don't like it." But once you get used to it, it's my go-to if I'm going to pick an exchange, right? I mean, I know people aren't really into that much lately, but all right, I'm going to go ahead and just simply
answer Stevie's question
one more guy, Burned by Saitama. Yeah, go ahead.
Stevie asked if do you hold on KuCoin or other exchange, and I hold 98% of mine crypto is on my ledger. If it can't be on my ledger for some reason, then I'll have to hold it on exchange or in a particular wallet if it's not approved to be on ledger. So
which ledger do you have? Do you have Ledger Nano, or what do you got?
I have the Nano X.
Okay.
I don't know. I've had it for a while, so
that's cool.
Yeah.
All right, guys. We are going to okay. Cool, Cat. You do it also. KuCoin is where you traded most of your stuff. Yeah. Yeah, I think a majority of mine is also traded there as well. All right. I'm going to go ahead and just have us go ahead and kick it into this outline. Some of you guys have seen this. Some of you guys haven't. Again, smash that like if you haven't done so already. And welcome to tonight's outline in regards to part 2 of what you're about to see here. And I just also want to state that throughout the show, probably maybe, I don't know, towards the end, we'll also show you guys little glimpses of the community response based off a recent FUD. Because why not? I mean, it shouldn't just be one-sided argument, right? So yeah, let's go ahead and jump into this. And of course, Sean and I have both reviewed this. So we're fully prepared for it. So yeah, let's go ahead and jump into it. Thank you again for joining us here on this wonderful Monday evening. Let's go ahead and get right into this. If anything, I fast forwarded a little bit just to get to the part where he starts talking about this. And I'll give this guy a shout out. I mean, we're featuring his content. So if you're wondering who is providing tonight's outline, it is Mr. Crypix, if that's how I pronounce it right.
Cyprix. It's
Cyprix. Sorry.
Yeah.
Why did I say Crypix? There's no R. Jeez. Too much Grand Theft Auto San Andreas on my mind. No, I'm kidding. Even they don't even, never mind. So anyway, yes, that's how you spell CYPRX. Superior Trading is the name of this channel. 3 days ago, 2,100 views, 237 likes. Obviously, a lot of people mentioned it. People requested a few days ago, hey, have you looked into this, Max? Have you looked? So yes, the answer is yes. But yeah, give them a follow. And if anything, I don't know, you could give us a shout out if you want. You don't have to. Let's go ahead and play this. And we'll play about maybe 5-6 minutes worth. We'll take a pause, jump back into the comments, have some commentary from Sean, myself, and so on. It's going to be a good show. So here it is.
In today's video breakdown, we're going to be doing part 2 of the Cypherium debunk. I want to first start off by saying something very important. Number one, I'm not paid to FUD Cypherium or anything like that. I need you all to really truly understand this is just me doing research and displaying to you all why it is I'm staying far away from investing my hard-earned money into this project. You guys can either take what it is that I'm displaying to you all and utilize it to benefit you as an individual, or you can disregard it. It is not financial advice. I'm simply just displaying to you all what it is that I've found that are red flags to me. You all can make up your own decision. So this is going to be part 2 on this first video breakdown that I released to you guys, debunking why I think Cypherium is going to be a rug pull in the future. That's not to say that temporarily it couldn't experience gains, because obviously, of course, we've seen rug pulls in the past surge massively in price before they actually decided to rug pull everybody. So again, keep in mind, because I've had some people that messaged in the comments that said, oh, you know, Cypherium's up in price. Why would you not want to be a part of it? And blah, 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 blah. Why take the chance at the end of the day? Okay. Now, shout out to everybody that did enjoy this content. I tried to go through all of the comments and the replies. So I do appreciate the love and the responses that you guys gave via the research that I've done. I got a lot of positive feedback for this. Again, I'm just an influencer that's attempting to shed some light on some very sketchy things about this project that everybody's freaking out about. So in today's video breakdown part 2, we're going to be going over some quote unquote official documents that Cypherium has shared that are actually, in my personal opinion, fake and counterfeit documents that anybody can go and create. And I'm going to show you why I think that in today's video breakdown. So before we get started, I want to make one thing clear. You all need to be able to separate the FUD from actual research. And what I attempt to provide you all here at CypherX is actual research. I'm not sitting here saying not to invest in Cypherium. All I'm telling you all is that I'm not investing in Cypherium based off of the findings that I'm displaying to you all. You all, again, need to make your own personal decision. I'm not FUDing would be saying, don't invest in Cypherium. Don't go do it. Don't go do it. I'm not telling you guys to not do anything. I'm simply here as an influencer, just displaying research that I found. So we're going to start actually on the Cypherium website real fast, but we're going to come back to this post that they have from a FedNow showcase, okay, that everybody's freaking out about. That's all the way back from 2021. That is completely outdated, and I'm going to show you guys again how this is a red flag. But let's just start via something that one of our CypherX students pointed out that's very interesting, kind of in a sense could just be a coincidence. However, it is extremely interesting. Okay, so let's just first pay attention to the Cypherium website. Look at the background of this website. Can you guys see how when I move my cursor, you guys see this graphic design that's on the back of the website? Well, one of our CypherX students shared this document, this project, I guess, that got rug pulled last year. Okay, it goes on to say this project got rugged a year ago, and look at the background animation, looks exactly like Cypherium. You guys can see the background of this PDF from this rug pulled, I guess you could say, cryptocurrency project. I don't really know what it is. It looks exactly like Cypherium. Now, that, like I said, could just be a coincidence, and I don't really like coincidences. So I thought that I'd share that with you guys to throw that in there, because usually when you have more than one coincidence, it starts to become not a coincidence, if that makes sense. So we'll start the video off with that. But what was really a red flag to me, and this is going to be a really good research video, so you guys need to pay attention, okay? Towards the end of this video breakdown, I'm going to play a recording that I made from actually trying to get in contact with Cypherium. So let's start down the rabbit hole. If you scroll down to the bottom of Cypherium's website, they have an address listed and a telephone number listed. Now, this is truly going to blow your mind. And again, like I said, was a massive red flag to me. So first, we're going to start on this phone number. All right, like I said, I'm going to play 2 recordings, one of me calling this phone number to show you guys that this is a Google phone number. You know, anybody can go on Google and get a user phone number connected, just like WhatsApp, right? If you go on WhatsApp, you get, address the phone number to your actual phone number. It's just like that. That's what this phone number is when you call it. First of all, it's not in service. Second of all, it's a Google phone number. So pay attention. That's going to play an important role when it comes to this website address, right? So I did a little bit of digging and I tried to call the office location of WeWorks, and it sent me to their main, I guess, address or database. And in the video recording that I'll play for you guys at the end, come to find out what this WeWorks address office space actually is. So I just want you to pause for a second. Remember, Cypherium is claiming that they are attempting to revolutionize central bank digital currencies and that they have worked with, you know, major central banks like the ECB or the Dutch National Bank, or we'll get into that in just one second, even the Federal Reserve, okay? So first of all, when you call the number that's on the bottom of the Cypherium page, it's a Redondo Beach phone number, okay? And I'll display a little picture for you guys right now. You guys can see on the caller ID, it says Redondo Beach, California, okay? So first of all, the number, again, that they're addressed from New York, this number that they have on the bottom of their website, red flag, is a Redondo Beach, California. We know Google, obviously, of course, associated with Silicon Valley, is in California. That's interesting, okay? But what's even more interesting is when we try to look up WeWork, 36th Street, New York, this building pops up. Now, like I said, I will display a video of me attempting to call this office location and get in contact with Cypherium, which is a complete red flag, and it's going to blow your guys' mind.
We promise to get more into the outline. Absolutely. So right there, obviously, is a little bit of a teaser of what's, you know, here to come. But if anything, you know, what the heck?
So, and this is common. I mean, so WeWork, if you guys aren't familiar with what that is, it's basically a company that will house your, let's say, your business address. If you're not a big enough company to you know, rent your own space, or you need, you know, an entire office building or whatever, you just need a place that has a conference room that you can meet people at. You can get your mail there. You can put that as your address, right? It makes it look more official. The problem is and I think the red flag occurs because if there's such a dominant force out there in the crypto world, why is it that they're renting, you know, not fake office space, because it's a real office space, but they don't actually have an office in there. Like, it's just a really kind of an address that they can use to get mail. And like I said, they have meeting rooms that you can rent out, you know, for certain business meetings or whatever. But it gives you a little bit more legitimacy. And unfortunately, when I was in the mortgage industry, right, and back when,
wow, you too, huh?
They would do, you know, you remember the seconds they would do, and then you could charge like 18%. You know, and they got these crazy companies out there that got in quick, created a bunch of scams, committed a bunch of fraud, and they would use these types of places. Now, I'm not saying if you use this kind of place, you know, you're some kind of a scam, but that's how I know what these types of places are, because it does give you that air of legitimacy. Look, I got a real address. It's in New York City, or it's in some big city, but it doesn't. You don't have an office there. So where is Cypherium? Like, where's their data center? Where are they set up? Where's their developers? You know what I mean? Where's that office? We don't know.
Well, of course we know, Sean. It's in the metaverse.
In the metaverse. Okay, yeah. It's built in your mind.
I'm gonna jump down for a few more comments, and we will kick it right back into here. Burned by Satama, welcome again. ISO Jetpack, he says, peace to the family. Let's go. Let's just get this out. Excuse me. Let's get this out. Excuse me. And let's see. I'm gonna get right into. Oh, I'm gonna read this real quick. The Aquaman says, you know who CFTC won't be ever suing? Stellar, because they are working together.
That's a very good point. Very good point.
I want to also welcome back Centrifuge. He says, FUD, don't buy in. Big money wants you out. And that's another thing I want to also point out. You know, it seems like anytime a project starts to get a lot of eyeballs on it, what comes after that?
FUD.
Absolutely. So
100%. Let's
throw that out there too.
You know why that happens? Because people who are in other projects think somehow that this new project that's getting more attention is somehow going to supplant theirs. And even though you do see communities fighting back and forth that aren't even competing in the same space, and so it's dumb, you know, to get involved in that. Now, Cypherium, you could say XRP and Cypherium maybe are competing for a little bit of the same real estate, but they're really not exactly the same. And we've gone through this before, and even if Cypherium is going to be used for CBDCs and XRP, might be used for CBDCs, they're not really going to be competing against each other because not everybody's going to want to use the same protocol or the same blockchain or work with the same companies. And we're going to get into more of that with the FedNow service when we talk about that.
Right. Boomer says, is it just me or does that dude look like Austin? Which Austin? Are you talking about Austin Hilton?
Awesome, Austin, probably.
Okay. In the old pictures, yes, I agree. Okay. Young Austin, not old Dateline. Well, they could be the guy I was talking about. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So let's go further down. Here's a question from Mr. Tim Shea. Why did this guy try to call them in the first place? That's a good question.
So he's trying to call them because he's just doing his due diligence. He's trying to find out, is this really their phone number? Does it lead to an office somewhere? Can I talk to somebody? Like, is this a real business? If on somebody's website, and this is a red flag for me as well, even though I'm not necessarily calling Cypherium a scam or a rug pull, but it is a red flag. If there's no way for you to actually get in touch with somebody at that company, is supposedly a big company who's revolutionizing CBDCs, like he says, you should be able to pick up the phone and call somebody, at least get their answering service or get a secretary or get, a business partner somehow. There should be some sort of connection there, right? I should be able to walk up to an office and see a sign that says Cypherium on it. And if you don't get those things, that creates that FUD and that creates that red flag, and not in and of itself is that the big problem, but that leads you to do more research. And if you dig up more red flags, you use that as one piece, and you get 10 more pieces, and you're like, okay, maybe this one isn't for me. Maybe I don't have all the confidence that I need to have if I'm going to invest in something like this.
That's a good question, though, Tim. Rand also states what he is so happy for after CBDC adoption, apparently after 2025. Who is going to stop any coin who went for $5? Hold on. All will go more than that. Open your mind. This is the opportunity. Don't get left behind with regret. All right. Thanks, Rand. So ISO Jetpack states, so the location is different than the area code of the phone. Well, here's the thing. I want to point that out real quick, right? And this is something that does need to get pointed out. So you also have to keep in mind that even I myself, right? Like, I'm originally from Portland, Oregon, right? You just moved to a new place. Yeah, I get it. Your office location should be, technically speaking, the same area code, right? But let's face it, a lot of these companies, they may actually go with like I know it seems like a crazy thing to mention, but like a virtual machine voice over IP service, and maybe that, the actual hub of where all that's being connected from happens to be, from a different area code. Now, some people say, oh, that's a bunch of malarkey, BS.
Well, and that's what he's saying, is that when you hear him say it's a Google phone number, right?
Yeah,
well, Google
right.
has a service where you can sign up. First, it's super cheap, and you get to use a phone number that they assign you, and it just forwards to your real phone number so that you don't have to give your cell phone number out. Normally, that's how it's used, right? If you don't want people to have your private cell phone number, you use something like a Google phone service, and they'll give you a new number. The problem with that is most of the time you can't get a number with an area code that's where you're physically located, and that's part of that problem.
Yeah, very true. All right, Tim Shea, this is good. He called IOTA the other day. We are meeting DAG for pizza on Thursday. Oh my gosh.
Nice. Let me know how that works out, Tim.
Yeah. The Internet of Things to get a pizza on Thursday. Anyway, Ahmed states, what's the ticket symbol or the ticker symbol? It is CPH for Cypherium.
Yes.
All right. Crypto winner. Yo. Glad I got paid last night at this morning before the market opens. Well, thank you for being here, Crypto winner. Let's see here. Tim Shea says Binance doesn't have an office either. See, Tim Shea is like bringing it. Mike NN states, and welcome back, Mike. Superior Trading called. There's no one there from Siberia. Yeah, we're gonna get into that juicy stuff. I think that was the icing on the cake towards the end. Yes, Mike just gave everyone spoilers if you're into that. I know this is not a movie, but yeah. Ahmed, my brother lives in New York. I can ask him to go to that address. That'd be cool. And then you know what, Crypto Winter. I mean, if you're willing to do it too, you might not even be into Cypherium. McDizzle says the Chinese Communist Party runs businesses in the United States in a 10 by 20 office space line with mailboxes. 1,000 businesses can be in the same office. It's ways to hide bad businesses in American offices. That's a good point. Miguel, welcome. Thank you for being here. More info about Boris Johnson. Crypto Winter really likes to report on Boris Johnson. So he says Boris Johnson's younger brother, Joe, has resigned from a role advising Binance. Ask Boris Johnson's brother. And let's see here. Miguel says, I'm not selling. I'm not selling mine either. I don't have the biggest bag, but I'm not selling either. And if anything, I don't know. Maybe I actually buy a little bit more. I know it sounds crazy, but that's the way I look at it. And we'll get more into this later. I'll read this one last comment. I also want to welcome GS. So I'll read his real quick too. So Crypto Winter says, bro, Max showed a green vector candle. I said, yup, red vector soon to follow, buying at the high of a green vector. Amateur night. All right. That's okay, man. GS, welcome, man. Good to have you here. My leased office space and disconnected corporate phone number. Yeah. All right. Let's get back into our outline. We're going to play some more right now. Unless you want to throw something in real quick before I do so.
Yeah, I'd say let's get into it. This is, I think we knocked all of those issues out of the way, right? And still not necessarily pointing to a scam or a rug pull, just maybe not very good business practices.
Yeah. You know what? Before we get into that, I got to give a shout out to this guy. That has nothing to do with super chats or any of that stuff. I did see this, just briefly glimpsed by it. Where the heck is that listed? Hold on a second. Where is that? Yeah, here it is. Michael Montclair, man, that is awesome. I want to recognize you on your special day and that special thing that happened. So if you guys are wondering, who's Michael Montclair, you should know who he is anyway. A wonderful member of our community. There's the wonderful, beautiful lady that said yes to this wonderful, amazing voice of a human being, Mr. Michael Montclair. I am so happy for you, man.
Congratulations.
You must be ecstatic. That must be the greatest feeling in the world. I unfortunately never felt that feeling yet. You know what I mean? I've been in a long relationship. I never gotten to that point yet. Maybe someday. But yeah, that is so cool. I am so happy for you. I didn't want to just jump in, saw people in the comments wishing you well. That is so awesome. I'm so happy for you. All right, guys, we're going to kick it back into the comments. But yeah, I just wanted to, give you props, man. All right. Let me go ahead and highlight that as a bookmark. Let's go ahead and kick it back into our outline. And if anything, we're going to play it right now. If you're wondering and you're just connecting, this is in regards to Cypherium. This is Mr. CypherX. Did I pronounce it right this time?
Yes, CypherX, I think is what he called himself.
So this is part 2 of his particular outline, which is part of our outline for tonight. This is him basically referencing WeWork office space and so on. And of course, connecting the dots, all that stuff. And of course, we'll have a community reaction to this as well. But anyway, I'm going to play some more. Here we go.
Via what the person on the phone says to me. But let's just focus in on what WeWork office space actually is. So you guys can see physical pictures of this location. Again, Cypherium, the company that's supposed to be revolutionizing CBDCs, does not even have a physical location. You guys can see down at the bottom of their website, this is their address location. WeWork 36th Street, New York. Well, these are physical pictures of that location. And what this is, what WeWorks is actually a rental space where companies can rent out office space without the hassle of a traditional lease. So they don't even have an actual physical location. Pause for a second real fast. One of the questions I ask myself is, why is a company that's doing work with major central banks, claiming to do work with major central banks, not actually physically doing work with central banks? I'm going to show you how there's no actual documentation of them doing work with central banks, even though they have falsely claimed that they are, have a leased office space. Why would they not have enough money to actually have a physical location? They have to lease an office space, right? And it's even going to blow your mind, again, like I said, playing the video recording at the end of this video, as to what the WeWork people said to me about who rent out their office spaces. Okay, but remember I told you guys to pay attention to that Google number, right? So if we keep clicking through the pictures, eventually we get to, let's keep going. We get to this picture and it says Google at the front. Okay, so WeWorks looks like it's operated or has a lot of Google offices in it. We continue, we got a lot of pictures of food. We got some dogs up in here. Again, remember, these people who are supposed to be, teaming up with central banks are working at this place, I guess, right? Don't even have a real physical location. Let's keep scrolling. Cute little doggies, right? Okay. Here's your little front desk of WeWork. And keep going, keep going. This is where it starts to get interesting. This picture right here spoke a red flag to me. Why? Because the number at the bottom of the WeWorks or the Cypherium, webpage is a Google number. Again, attached to a Redondo Beach address. All right. So if we go back over here, it goes on to say, get your business online with Google. That was a major red flag to me. At that point in time, I was like, wow, these people literally just went and established a little Google phone number for themselves. Again, not even a real phone number. Go ahead and call it yourself. You guys can literally pick up your own cell phone and dial it and prove to yourself that they're not going to answer the phone and that it is out of service. Okay. But moving on. Okay. So again, a company supposed to be revolutionizing, central bank digital currencies is apparently working in this WeWork building, renting out office space. Okay. So that was a red flag to me. But now, aside from WeWork, dang, that's a mouthful. WeWork, not rework, WeWork. Okay. We see when we click on this article right here from FedNow Instant Payments Service Provider Showcase. This was posted on Cypherium's Twitter page on March 14, 2022. And a lot of people will think that this is actually real. First of all, okay, let's go to it real quick. If you actually go to the FedNow website, which we'll get into in just 1 second, you cannot find this webpage. Okay? It is not on the actual FedNow website. Again, the link where Cypherium has posted on their Twitter page that they're connected in some way, shape, or form to the FedNow instant payment services, you cannot go to the actual FedNow website and find that. And I'll show you guys that in just 1 second. But let's focus on this real fast. Again, remember, a company right here that goes on to say, this is a Cypherium article straight from their website. Okay, January 7, 2020, 3-minute read, Digital Currency Interoperability Framework. This is from Cypherium.io, and it goes on to say, one of Cypherium's most recent and most exciting new projects has been the development of our Digital Currency Interoperability Framework, the DCIF. The Cypherium DCIF is a novel approach to challenges facing the adoption of central bank digital currencies. This is literally mind-blowing right here, ladies and gentlemen, okay? It goes on to say, in coming to understand exactly what specifications were needed for such framework, the Cypherium team has been in contact with a number of central banks leading the digital currency charge. It says Cypherium is in direct talks with the Banque de France, the Netherlands Bank or the Dutch Bank, and the European Central Bank. These issues through their common memberships of joint partnerships. Okay, so it goes on to say that they're partnered with Banque de France, the Dutch Bank, and the European Central Bank. Wrong. Let's just check out this. I'm telling you guys, when you do this research yourself, it's mind-blowing. So Banque de France website, you guys can see banquedefrance.fr, Banque de France Eurosystem. You type in Cypherium, sorry, no results were found. Again, remember, coincidences are not coincidental when more than 3 happen. Okay, check this out. This is the Dutch Bank website. You type in Cypherium, what do you get? 0 pages found for Cypherium. Sorry, your search results return no results. Please try again. Okay, then we go over to the ECB website, European Central Bank Eurosystem website. Again, type in Cypherium, hit search, prove to yourself that there is no partnership. Again, on the Cypherium website, they say that they are in direct talks with the Banque de France, the Dutch Bank, and the European Central Bank regarding these issues, central bank digital currencies. Don't you think that at least one of these banks, again, 3 across the board, have no mention, not even one single article or PDF pops up, no results found when it comes to Cypherium? That was a red flag as well. Take it how you want it. Moving on. This is another red flag article put out by Cypherium. It goes on to say, talks about blockchain enterprise focused solutions with Cypherium platforms, goes on to talks about how Cypherium builds scalable permissionless hybrid blockchain systems, But this is where it gets interesting. It goes on to say, by joining Societe Generale startup flow as a preferred startup, Cypherium will gain access to over 30 innovational leaders. It goes on to say, back in May, Societe Generale issued $40 million worth of euro of covered bonds as security tokens on public blockchains. So when you go to Societe Generale or you click on the links of this website, it goes right here. It says payments, and it takes you to the Societe Generale website. And literally the first page that pops up when you type in Cypherium says no search results. That is now four official bank websites in a row where Cypherium has mentioned that they are direct partners with that have no search results on their website for Cypherium. I don't know if that's a red flag to you guys or not, but it sure was to me.
All right. We obviously have a lot more to get into when it comes to this. Sean.
Yeah. So, okay, there's a lot going on, and look at what we're going to talk about. This shows you that no matter how much research you do, you're not always going to get it right. You're not always going to get everything. I like to do reviews and look at projects and do kind of that general, what I call the 30,000 foot view, right? Just to give you an idea, what's going on. Max, I know, does some serious deep dives, so he's going to get a lot deeper into subjects than I normally do. But this guy, he does his research and he does good research, but he's not connecting them correctly. So just for starters, right? He says there's no link to that FedNow, their service provider website, right? But there is a link. Let me see here. Let me show you. Let me share my page.
And as Sean is pulling it up, I'm just going to go through a few more comments. Boomer F. Sooner says, well, I got government contractors at Robbins and Wright, Pat Air Force Base, and their area codes is out of OKC. Interesting. Glad everybody's congratulating, of course, Michael Montclair. Again, welcome, Michael. April Cornwell says, hey, congrats, Michael Cornwell. And just let me know whenever you got that ready. We'll pull it up.
Go ahead.
Okay. All right. So I don't see this. Oh, here we go. It's just we have too many up. There we go. So here's what Sean is talking about. All right.
Okay.
Yeah, go
ahead. So now he's claiming if you go to the Federal Reserve site, there's no link, for the showcase, like the showcase website is some sort of a made up website, but it's not, because if you go to the Federal Reserve website, this is their official website, right? You can go to the FedNow service, and then right here it says Service Provider Showcase Participation Information, and you click this link right here, FedNow Service Provider Showcase. It takes you off site, and they do this for a reason. They do this because the FedNow doesn't want to. They don't want to present any company and say, "Hey, the federal government is backing this particular company," or the Federal Reserve is endorsing a specific company. So they have this FedNow Service Provider Showcase, and basically what this means is that any company or project out there, if they meet certain criteria, you can apply to be on this website, right? It doesn't mean they're going to use you, because the FedNow doesn't necessarily determine which service providers are going to get used. Who determines that is the customer that's using the FedNow service system, right? So if you're a business, there are literally 100 and I don't know, maybe 10, or here you go, 103 providers on here. And as a business, you can go through here and find a company that maybe you already have an existing relationship with and use them as a service provider or a payroll company, or they offer many different things. Okay, Cypherium is listed on here, but it's just one of many. The Federal Reserve System isn't going to use Cypherium to move all of their money around, right? And that's kind of where the Maxis and Sky Gao, I think, misrepresents what this means. So yes, there's information that says, or the red flags that say, oh, maybe it's a scam, maybe it's a rug pull. I don't think that's the case. Cypherium is listed on here, so obviously they had to apply. There probably is a little bit of a background check on them, and they have been around since 2019 that I can find. But that's it. I think they're just misrepresenting the importance that they might have at the FedNow service. So if you go here and you go down, end user type, just businesses here, and it's going to give you all the different service providers. And let me see if I can find Cypherium in here. Here's Volante. Now, Volante Pay is a Ripple partner, right? And they do similar things, right? And here's what it says about Volante. Volante offers a variety of additional products and services to enrich financial institutions' instant payment roadmaps.
Hey, it's okay. Michael Montclair, what's her name? Zara said yes, so it's totally okay.
Yeah, there you go. There's your romance. It provides customers with ways to differentiate and innovate in their chosen markets, and it tells you all the ways they do it by cross-border SWIFT payments, next generation cross-border, Ripple, Visa Direct, all that stuff. So that's just Volante. So let's go back and see if I can. Let's go financial institution to see. There's Volante again, and see all of these other companies do similar things. And cross-border payments, instant payments. Some of them are blockchain, some of them aren't. Let's see, Cypherium. We got to find Cypherium now because we're on here, and I've seen them before. Tacit. I'm going to tell you about Tacit Pay in a second. I know they're on here because I've looked at them a couple of times, so they are listed on here. Here they are, Cypherium. So blockchain platform enabling faster payments and cross-border interoperability, right? Through connecting banks, payment service providers, payment networks. So this is a service provider that businesses and or people and or financial institutions can utilize their service if they choose to. But this is not what the FedNow service, the FedNow instant payment system is, right? They don't have a one size fits all, and they're going to use Cypherium for everything, or Volante for everything, right? People in business are going to choose that. Now, and so he's correct. You can go onto the FedNow website. If we go back, I have to go back. Let's go back out of here. I should just have the FedNow site pulled up, but I don't. Here we go. So now we're back on the main FedNow site, and if you type in Cypherium, right, it's not going to list them because they're listed on an off-site, right? It's not connected to here. It doesn't search that other site. Tacit Pay is another instant payment provider that uses blockchain but doesn't have a token, right? So they're a little bit different. And I knew that we're going to see, I think, a lot more of these in the future, these blockchains that don't use tokens, right? Nobody can invest in them. Nobody's going to FOMO in. There's not going to be FUD created that's going to cause prices to go up and down. They're just going to be able to move money. Now, if you type in, and Tacit's a very big business, and they're very serious business. So if you type in their name on here, nothing, right? They come up with nothing. And this is a serious company. So that in and of itself doesn't mean anything at all. There is a connection between the FedNow site, the real FedNow site, and the showcase. So that's, I think, incorrect in his analysis. So I just want to point that out to you guys. That just because somebody's willing to do a deeper dive and really dig into the details doesn't always mean they get it correct. So you kind of take it for what it is, put everything together, make up your mind at that point.
That's another reason why I just don't feel like jumping out of Cypherium. And if anything, I don't know. I might actually just buy more. I know it sounds crazy, but not to the point though, guys, where it's like, oh man, I'm gonna put in like a $2,000 or $5,000, or some people had reports literally to sell it all, and go all in. I'm not gonna do the Web 36 route. Nothing against him, but at these prices, I'm like, you know what? I might just get a little bit more. But that's just me.
And you might consider this. This is your gambling play, right? This is your degen in. Like you're not 100% like this thing is going to go to the moon, but you know what? It's worth a few $100. I throw it in. Maybe I do well. Maybe it goes to zero and I'm out a few $100. I've done worse.
Here's the whole thing I want to point out to everybody. It is a form of FOMO. It really is. If you think about what 100%. FOMO is, the fear of missing out. It's like, well, if you're not totally convinced that this is everything that this gentleman is providing, right? Not Sean, but the guy that we're featuring. Then, if anything, it's like, well, Do you just hold with what you have? Do you add more? I don't know. It's to me, it's very mixed. I think that's the unanimous decision. It's mixed. There's not anything clear cut to say everyone based off of his recent video is just going to jump out of that. To me, that just doesn't grab me that way.
Yeah, hope and hopefully it just allows people just to think about things a little bit more, right? And you're right, it's 100% FOMO, and that's what we do kind of in this industry, right? We hear a name, we hear a big YouTuber, somebody talk about it, we're like, oh my gosh, that sounds awesome, right? That sounds really important and earth shattering,
Yeah,
right? I better get in right now, and a lot of, and I do it too. I'm guilty of that, and you get in before you do all of your research, and then maybe later on you're like, maybe I shouldn't have gone in. Hopefully. If you feel like getting out, you didn't lose anything, but those things happen, right? You don't want to miss the train.
They happen every single day, and it's not just with crypto. Let's face it. I mean, that could be said about stocks. That could be said about anything.
Yep.
So anyway, that's just the way I look at it, guys. I mean, the main reason why I got into Cypherium is because obviously ISO 222 was listed as being compliant, and then obviously this whole thing with Fed now, that was like the icing on the cake. So now that there's nothing really definitive, and we'll get more into this. I just said to myself, no, I'm not at that point where I just pull the plug. Just like I wasn't at that point. I know this is not a utility-based token yet, but like the whole thing with Shiba Inu. With some of that FUD, if you guys remember what happened about a week or so ago, maybe 2 weeks ago, with the whole Shibarium thing, and exposing Satoshi and some of the other people taking screenshots of this is not even Shibarium was not built from scratch. They use another particular template from another blockchain, all that stuff. Even with that FUD, I didn't decide to get out on that. So my thing is, it has to be 100%. Crystal clear when it comes to that before I pull 100% out. Why? Again, FOMO, the fear of missing out on the what if people are wrong. And that's one of the key things I want to draw your guys' attention to. And of course, none of it's financial advice. We all got to do what we got to do. But personally speaking, we're still going to cover Cypherium. If anything, I might, chop up some of what's mentioned tonight as a response to this, see how it goes. But yeah, let's go ahead and jump a little bit more into this here in a second. We'll take a pause to basically recognize a few more comments. And if anything, thank you for being here tonight on today's special of Utility Talk Now, where we are looking at the second response from this particular gentleman, who is Mr. Let me state his name again. Mr. Cypress Superior Trading on his part 2 video. I'm sure he'll do a part 3 on that as well. We may possibly do a follow-up, just depends. Combine crypto, stocks, all that stuff. We keep up with supply and demand of what our community wants. But let's go ahead and jump back into the comments just for a brief bit, and then we'll get back into our outline. All right, let's see. I know you guys got quite a few comments since last time. Saw some new people come on in. That's pretty cool. Let me double check the other screen real quick just make sure I didn't miss anything. I didn't see anything specifically. All right, so let me welcome a few more people or read some comments. Crypto Winter says, yeah, I got a few more cycles available. Leave it to Dominican Republic. Interesting. Dizzle says SEC lawsuit reveals 1,700 contracts to distribute XRP to central banks and financial institutions. That is a whopper.
It is a whopper. Yeah, I read that today
huge.
As well. I'll probably be doing a video on that.
Nice. Well, looking forward to that one then. All right. So congratulations again to Michael. And let's go further down. In regards to what we're talking about tonight, so Crypto Winter, I guess, is listening and watching, and he says he's in Brooklyn, one of the 5 boroughs of New York. So he goes to all 5 boroughs a day. He also takes the ferry right now to Staten Island. So if anything, maybe you could go check and walk in there. Rayan, in 5 years after marriage, I got bald, I think is what you're trying to say. I don't know where my hair went. God. Well, you got stressed out, I guess. That's all right. Achman Ray, and most likely down the bathroom drain. Jeez. All right. Coochie Boy says he ran a business and his business address was a P.O. box at a local post office. But why would some need a physical location if all the work is outsourced? And that is a very valid point.
Yeah, that is a valid point. And I wrote that question down earlier. If everybody is working remote, right? They've got their own place. They work out of their house or whatever. You don't need an office space, but you probably need a phone number that works, right? So yeah, and you would think there would be some sort of office because there is business needing to be conducted at some point. It's not just developers in their mom's basement, right? There's going to be some professional people out there, especially people who are going to banks or visiting these financial institutions, giving presentations on their blockchain, their project, how we can help you, those kinds of things. So those kind of people would need an office at some point somewhere.
Yeah, very, very true. That's a good point. Hold on a second. I'm unsure the wrong screen. All right. So another thing we also want to point out, guys, is, some of you guys pointed out last week, right? And last Wednesday, I think is the show that we did. We as investors or devs are not allowed to listen to music. They're not allowed to share their guitar solos. Got to be a, straight and narrow, 100%, serious all the time type of person. Very valid points. ISO says it's like having a business and then using Magic Jack as your company. Oh man, I forgot all about Magic Jack. I wonder if they're still in business. Blackwood says take in everything the guy showed us and ask to yourself if you think the Fed would want to represent such an amateur presentation. That is a good point. That's a good point.
It's a good point, but I think my points, cover that. Like the Fed isn't representing Cypherium as a project or a company that you should go invest in, right? That's why they have an offsite website for that showcase.
Yeah, very true. All right, I'm gonna read a couple more comments. Crypto Winner says, "Man, New York City's filled with CBDC weed. Speaking of weed, we have a herd of Bitcoin, and so we tokenize blockchain. That's interesting." Aqua says, "Effing dogs, that is fake." Okay. Coochie Boy, if you drop shipping, you don't need a physical address to do millions of dollars of business. That's valid points.
It's a completely different business, though.
Yeah. Max's screen went black for a minute. He's going to sell. No, when I do that, it's because I had to get up, maybe, check on my dad or whatever. You know what I mean? So that's what's going on with that. I just don't want it to be like a distraction from what you guys are focusing on. Robert Hayes says, "Hello all. Good to have you here. Welcome back, Robert Hayes." And let's see here. Look at Hedera's headquarters in Texas. It's fire. Interesting. I have to look into that sometime. Ahmed says, I'm Googling it. It's showing me it's in Manhattan and not Queens. Good point. ISO Jetpack says, if Cypherium is for Fed use, why isn't it on more platforms? That's all really missing, to be honest.
Well, and it's for me, if the Fed was actually going to use it, which they're not going to, right? That's not the way it works. But if they were going to use it, they don't want it out there in the public, right? They want it for their own use. They don't want, and this is one of those big things, and we may talk about this someday, about the questions we have to ourselves, right? If Cypherium is going to be used out there and it's going to be a next reserve currency, do you think they want retail involved? Do you know what I mean? All the big players out there, the central banks, the BIS, the WEF, the IMF, they all want control of that. They don't want anybody else into it. They want to control their own monetary supply. If it's going to be on the E side, right, the electronic version, they can control that, and they don't have to let other people use it. You make CBDCs for cross-border payments between these central banks that isn't necessarily used for retail payments. So, why would the Fed now use something that people can jump in and out of and speculate on and cause those prices to go up and down, a lot? Why would they use that? That's my own, insecurity and my own, maybe disbelief in some of these things, right? I have to keep convincing myself that, I'm getting into the right things, and it's going to be used, and it's going to be important, right? Right. We do have to do that. I use that for XRP as well. Same thing.
Yes, that's a good way of looking at it. Guys, smash that like if you haven't done so already. We're just trying to get this out to a broader base. But if anything, I think it's been a good show so far. We're going to get more into this outline. I'm going to read one more comment. I'm going to read it from Mr. Blackwood. He says, taking everything the guys showed us and ask yourself if you think the Fed would want to represent such an amateur presentation. I think I already read that one. Maybe I'll just read one other one. How about this? Did everybody read this?
Yeah.
I don't think I already read those. Yeah, my bad. All right, so let's see. I'm on Welk Equilibrium. It says once Cypherium, let me highlight that. Hold on a second. There we go. Once Cypherium is publicly announced, the God candle that will follow will price a lot of people out of buying. And that's, again, another reason why I kind of look at this as a little bit of FOMO, because it is that, the fear of missing out. And my thing is, to me, completely just saying, you know what, I give into this particular video from Mr. I gotta remember his name right. Cypress Superior Training. I'm not willing to get out because we talk about the risk to reward ratio, right? So that whole thing of that fear of missing out would be like 100-fold at that point. And to me, that would bother me. So that's my thing. It's like, even if I didn't DCA into this again, which I'm probably going to at least one more time, it's just that fear of missing out. That would be a big whopper. And to even be mentioned, and let's face it, they are mentioned in the same breath, whether we like it or not, with Ripple, that would bother me, Yeah. All right. So I really appreciate you guys being here. Again, smash that like if you haven't done so already. I know I emphasize that a lot. The main reason why I put so much emphasis on that is like right now, I did see we ticked it up a little bit. So we got 47 likes, and it says we have 57 people watching. So that's a pretty good ratio. I do appreciate you guys doing that. We're just trying to obviously grow our community, get this out to more people and so on. So let's go ahead and kick it back to our outline. We're about an hour, 12 minutes into the particular show. It's been a good one so far. I think there's roughly about 15 minutes left on this outline. So anyway, let's go ahead and jump right back into it. And again, guys, thank you so much for being here tonight. We really, really do appreciate you guys. So if anything, let's blow this up, and here we go.
Moving on, let's go talk about this fundamental. Okay, so when you click on this fundamental right here from Cypherium, it takes you to this website. Again, you guys need to understand that websites can be created faulty. They can be falsely created. You understand that, right? Internet is a very hackable thing. So check this out. This was a red flag to me. This says the Federal Reserve Financial Services, and that it's some kind of website for the FedNow instant payments. Well, the red flag to me came when you come down here and you look at the copyright date. Any updated website has to have an updated copyright. Well, the copyright for this website, quote unquote, that Cypherium has posted on their Twitter page, the copyright down at the bottom is from 2021. You don't think that that's a red flag? Let's actually go over to the official FedNow, frbservices.org website. And if you scroll down to the bottom, you can see that their copyright is updated. It goes on to say right here, their copyright 2023 Federal Reserve Banks. Okay, so that was a red flag. But was even more a red flag if this is an actual FedNow website. Goes on to say explore.fednow.org. Okay, how come when you type in Cypherium on the Federal Reserve frbservices.org website, what do you get? Sorry, your search did not return any results. So again, that was another red flag to me surrounding all the things that we pieced together so far in this video breakdown, alongside all the things that we've pieced together in the previous video breakdown. Okay, remember, things can't be a coincidence when they happen more than 3 times. This is now what? I don't know. In regards to this video, 12 things in this video. In regards to this video, like 6 things so far in this video, right? Now, I started to get skeptical when this individual right here, henfly77, posted once on my Twitter page a connection or some type of PDF to a potential federalreserve.gov partnership. Remember that word. where he claimed that Cypherium is a partner of the Federal Reserve. Goes on to say, ask yourself why such a shell company from China could have anything to do with the Federal Reserve. So I think, again, that this is a scam PDF that anybody can go and create, and let me show you why, okay? This is not FUD. This is me just showing you all why I think this is a fake PDF. First of all, if you go to the actual Federal Reserve website, this is the fedsearch.org, okay? And again, you type in Cypherium, your search did not match any results. But what you need to pay attention to is this Federal Reserve seal, okay? Right here, the seal of the Federal Reserve. So if you come over to this document that this individual shared with me, okay, it says right here, you guys can even see the link. It says federalreserve.gov. Again, a fake document in my personal opinion. This is the document that comes up, and it goes on to talk about Cypherium's clearing system. Now, when you type in the keywords partnership, nothing comes up. It only just talks about Cypherium and what it can do for the banking system. Now, what I want you to pay attention to about this PDF, again, I'm a researcher that pays attention to detail. There are no official seals on this document. You do not know who wrote this document because there's no official names on this document as to who potentially wrote it or who the source is. And there's no date on this document. Look down at the bottom. So scrolling all the way down to the bottom, scrolling all the way up to the top, there's no date, there's no seal, there's no source as to who wrote this document. It's just a random PDF. I could create a PDF, official seal or date that this document even came out. There's no information about it at all. People will be like, oh, well, why is that even important? Well, if we go over to every single other document from the Federal Reserve, and I just have a few examples to show you, but you can prove this yourself, they either have one of three things: who wrote the document, when the document came out, or an official seal from the Federal Reserve. So that's how you can tell that this document is a scam document. Alongside that, I'm clicking on this document right now, and notice how nothing gets highlighted. Okay, so you can't copy this document. You can't resource this document because you literally cannot copy anything. I'm clicking right now, okay? Whereas when we go over to the official documents of the Federal Reserve, see how when I click, they get highlighted? It's so that way you can resource information from these documents. They allow you to do this because you're supposed to be able to resource information for anybody that's doing studies on blockchain technology or whatever the case may be. So you guys can see here how on this document I can highlight. On the unofficial document that was put out by Cypherium or whoever, you cannot highlight. Now, let's pay attention back to the date. So you guys can see here, January 2022, we know when this date was put out. We see the official seal of the Federal Reserve. It goes on to say the Board of Governors, Federal Reserve, right? Who put this out? We see a name right here, the Board of Governors of the Federal Reserve System, okay? Same thing over here. This is another PDF, official PDF from the Federal Reserve. Board of Governors of the Federal Reserve System, International Finance Discussion Papers. We even see an ISSN number, okay? And we see a date. Another PDF over here. What do we see? Straight from the federalreserve.gov. We know who put this PDF out. Stephen Cife, Assistant Vice President, Federal Reserve Bank of Boston. So we see an actual source. Scrolling up to the top, we see the seal of the Federal Reserve, the Board of Governors, and we see a date. So that was another red flag to me from this random document that just has a federalreserve.gov website attached to it that, again, anybody could create. You guys, again, need to take it upon yourself to piece together the parts of the breadcrumb. Why I think Cypherium is going to be a rug pull has nothing to do with your bags. If you hold Cypherium, make it an executive decision whether or not to be a market participant in this project or not. This is me just showing you all that they've claimed in the past that they have connections to these major central banks, yet these major central banks have no physical form of documentation to show that representation of that partnership, not even on the Federal Reserve. So do you really think that the Federal Reserve and these major central banks are using a company that doesn't even have a physical working phone number or physical location and apparently rents out office space at this WeWorks company in New York that is established by Google? Piece two and two together. Sit back, relax, and enjoy this little tiny video breakdown of me actually calling WeWorks, trying to get in touch with Cypherium. With that being said, if you guys enjoyed this video breakdown, smash that thumbs up button. If you know somebody heavily invested into Cypherium, share this video breakdown with them. Again, I'm not telling you to sell your Cypherium. I'm just simply providing information to you all as to why I'm staying away from this project.
All right, let's just take a pause on that real quick, and then we'll get into the rest of it. There's basically about 10 more minutes.
Yeah, and most of that I think is him phone calling.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. So and I think I already discussed why his analysis was incorrect on that. The PDF. I mean, you can have your own, I guess, opinion on what that PDF represented. And to me, that was a copy. That was an excerpt of a paper that Cypherium wrote for themselves. Right. That wasn't something the FedNow was writing or they were partnering with. It was how Cypherium works. I mean, that's how I read it. Right. So to call that a red flag because it doesn't have the official seal of the Federal Reserve, that to me didn't really make much sense. But I'm not. I think once you start down that rabbit hole, right, and you're really really investigating and you're really passionate about what you're doing, you're looking for red flags, right? You're trying to determine everything that you see is a red flag, right? And we've used this to describe the SEC, right? If you're a hammer, everything looks like a nail, right? That's what you're doing. So
that's a great analogy. Yeah.
So I think maybe he's going a little too far and maybe reading into a little
You
much.
think it's a stretch? You think it's a stretch, basically?
I think it's a stretch, but I mean, I could be wrong too, right? I mean, I've done a little bit of research, but I've already found, few items in his research that he was incorrect. Like he's pointing out certain things, and we're going to talk about, some responses here in the community response to all this FUD, that's going around. And I hate the term FUD because it's not. I mean, I know we use it as a general term, but it's the guy has a legitimate question, right? He has legitimate questions that should be answered, and if there's any common sense answers that could be had without having to, accuse somebody of being a scam, then you should do that. But I think everybody has to have, an opportunity to answer. And I know Sky isn't the easiest to try to get answers from. So, and we're going to talk about that here in a little bit.
Well, here's another thing, and we're going to get more into the comments here, but the thing is the fear, uncertainty, the doubt, right? So clearly a lot of people have doubts about Cypherium, especially after this guy dropped, this bombshell
Sure.
on his first part one. To me, part one was a little bit more impressive. I just want to throw that out there for whatever reason. I don't know. If I had to pick one video so far, I honestly thought part one did the job better than part two, if I'm going to be critical. But, I do understand where he's coming from. I don't know. When you guys, for instance, watch the end of this particular outline, you may have the attitude that, no, it's that phone call was icing on the cake. And I would tend to lean with you on that. It still wasn't enough for me to just say, no, I don't want to take a chance on this. I'm out. But I think for a lot of people, it's not that they're getting out, that you're staying, it's kind of like a stalemate or, standing still, not doing anything with it. But anyway, teach his own. We'll get into more comments. Crypto Winter says, if CZ bought Voyager, the Fed would lose their XRP Ripple case. I saw the whole thing in regards to the whole, topic of Voyager today. We'll probably get into that tomorrow because, we're mainly highlighting what's going on with Cypherium for today, but it is a hot topic and it made a lot of news today. Michael Montclair says another USDT, show me the money. Yeah, speaking of which, so I'll give you guys a brief announcement. Yours truly is finally into LCX. I got so sick and tired of I should not be getting so much KYC. So I finally went the route of I bought USDT on KuCoin. I sent it over to Coinbase wallet. And then I didn't realize that I had to have stupid Ethereum to pay for the gas. So I ended up paying a gas fee. I think it was like $20. It wasn't the end of the world. But yours truly finally owns about $1,200 worth of LCX. So I'm finally part of that. It just was bugging me like crazy. I'm passionate about LCX. I'm fully behind it. We cover it all the time. And yet I don't have it. And that bothered me. So I'm finally into it. But yeah, I had to have some USDT to make that happen. But I'm glad, you point out the whole thing in regards to USDT. Show me the money. Crypto Winter says, man, go get Boris Johnson's brother and let's get some answers. Can Biden call Boris Johnson and ask him to ask his brother? All right. Nice logo from Fiverr. LOL, says Michael Montclair. ISO Jetpack, once companies say that they're backing a particular crypto, isn't that already kind of breaking non-ISO disclosure of what to invest? Like, honestly, that's a good question. All right. M. Evans, I want to welcome you. Could Cypherium want to appear to be a fake company so that investing public would be scared to invest? These failed connections are very obvious. So basically, some people have said this in the past, and I know this is a totally different project, has nothing to do with this, but this statement, let's face it, guys, what's one that we probably were all in at one point who had been accused of doing this? Is Saitama. Some people said that they intentionally flooded it to benefit like the devs and so on. But that's another thing that could be a reality, right?
Well, let's think about this.
Yeah.
If let's use our imagination here and say Cypherium has some sort of magical connection with the Fed, right? And they're going to be using Cypherium all over the place. Okay, they wouldn't be on any exchanges. There would be no ability for retail to purchase their token, right? That would not happen. I guarantee you 100% that would never happen. So the fact that, and we can go into this further, in a minute, but the fact that Sky Gao, the CEO, shills Cypherium every single day, all day long on Twitter.
Like a meme coin.
You would think he would have something better to do. That they've said that the Fed now, that they've partnered with them and that they're going to be used for all of this money transfer. And I've already showed you and told you that that's not the way the Fed now system works, right? Businesses and banks and customers have to choose to use you as a service provider. The Fed now does not decide that. And then the retail, right? They wouldn't want retail involved where they could wildly speculate on these assets and cause price swings, right? Even though it is a very quick settlement, but that still creates FUD, for businesses out there who say, hey, how come you got a bunch of retail traders out there trading this token that I'm trying to use to pay my employees and to move money from, one corporate office to another? Like that's, you can see the problems that might cause.
Yeah, it does seem like a lot of shilling. I mean, and here's the unique thing. I should say unique thing. We're talking about something that's ISO 222 compliant. Literally says it on their site. When I think of like the ISOs, I think of like blue chip cryptos. I'm not thinking of like any specific company where it's Gilbert Verdia or Quant going around saying, you know what? Yeah, we're 100% interoperability, promote interoperability. There's these other blockchains who claim interoperability. But I'm shilling the hell out of my QNT. And if anything, like don't get into Hedera, don't get into some of these other ones. We're the ones that are going to like do everything and then some. You don't ever see that. That's not the general consensus of any of that. And of course, that is something to be said because it's like if these are standout blue chip projects, and we understand that Cypherium, the market cap says no, this is down actually with actual meme tokens and so on. If you want to look at it from a market cap ranking, it makes you wonder, like, you know what? Sky Gao, if that's the way to pronounce it, I always thought it was Guo. If it's, if Sky Gao comes across this way and he does, where he's shilling this over and over, I think that does fuel the FUD or the fire of FUD for this debate of it's supposed to be a standout project, FedNow connection with the meme-esque feel to it.
Yes. So, yeah. This is a financial system, a powerhouse, right, is what they're saying. And for him to do this, like you don't see XLM running around out there saying how bad XRP is and everybody should believe in XLM over XRP. You don't see that. Why? Because they're professionals. They're in different spaces, right? And they don't need to do that. That's not how, legit companies work. So for Sky to go, through Twitter and bash XRP is going to lose the lawsuit and they're going to be declared a security, and Cypherium is going to be the only one that's going to be able to connect CBDCs and move money and blah blah. It's just I don't care for it myself. I'm not going to sell because it's not worth it to me. The upside is much larger for me than the downside. So I'm okay with it, and I can show you some more information that I've found. Right, if we want to think it's a scam or a rug pull, we would assume this thing is relatively new. Like Sky's new, Cypherium, it's only been out there for a few months. He's trying to make all these fake documents and fake websites for the Fed system. But if you actually go onto like Cointelegraph, right, where you get some news, and type in Cypherium, right? So you should see, maybe you get one or two, because it should link something to the Fed now, right? Where's my right here?
While you're trying to pull that up, I'm just gonna go a few, down a few more. ISO Jetpack says, "What's Cypherium's use case against?" Off the top, I can't.
Yeah, cross-border payments, interoperability, and that's what they're saying. They're saying they're a bigger, better, badder XRP, even though they've got no source of liquidity. So I don't know how that's going to work. There's some concerns with it, but it is a real blockchain. They have been out there. This is Cointelegraph. Just type in Cypherium, and you can see all of the different articles that were written, right? And you can take this all the way back, I think, to 2019. They've been talking about Cypherium, and Sky's been involved in this. Let's see, July 20th, 2020. And yes, they were working with China in their blockchain infrastructure. Let's see. Cypherium CEO predicts CBDC cross-border payment soon. That was July of 2020. I mean, they've been out there. Cypherium has been out there in the world and actually talking to people. So I know that they're real. How real and how much utility are they going to provide to the financial system? I don't know, right? We don't know that yet. And I don't think none of us are going to know until that switch is flipped and utility actually starts to take off. So yeah, so you can go back here. I just wanted to see where like Cypherium is noted in the actual title, and I don't have to read the August 8th. I don't think Cypherium's in there. Here we go. So August 13, 2019, right? This is like, for me, I can say, okay, clearly it's a real thing. It really exists out there, and it has for many years. So to try to say that this is all of a sudden going to be a rug pull and a scam, that's a bit of a stretch.
Yes, but if anything, all of it are, it's valid. People make valid points when it comes to some of these things. I mean, and point out the flaws, and that's the main thing.
100%. And the red flags are all valid points. If that's the way you viewed it, and maybe you didn't get all of the information 100%, but there were still enough red flags to cause concern. And for me, at the end of the day, and I know we'll watch the phone calls, right? It's just poor business practices. It's unprofessional. The way he's showing his own business is not what I would want to see from a major investment of mine, which is why I don't have tens of thousands of dollars into it. You can have yourself a moon bag. If it goes well, then great. If not, no big deal. Like I said, I've had worse investments in my life.
Yeah, no kidding. All right, so let me see here. I'm gonna go further down, and if anything, I'll get into a few more comments. I want to welcome John Francis. It says, hey, Gary Gensler, go away. Nice to see Max and Sean again. Well, nice to see you again, Mr. John Francis.
Thank you, John.
Back. I can actually answer this question. So ISO Jetpack says he has a question: who audits the SEC? And to answer that specific question is I guess you could say it's a committee, and they're called the Office of the Inspector General, which is called OIG. And it's an independent office within the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission that conducts, supervises, and coordinates audits and investigation of programs and operations of the SEC. But I understand the other argument is basically what's still part of the SEC, and that would be a valid argument.
Yeah, it's like the police. The police officers basically investigate themselves. Yeah, it's kind of thing that obviously they don't want to bring a black eye or a bad name to the SEC. So you can imagine they probably go a little easy and overlook some stuff. Congress really is where you have to look to get control of the SEC. Why? Because Congress controls their money.
Right.
They have to go, and Gary Gensler, I believe this week, is going before Congress to ask for more money. So,
Oh God.
if they say, nope, you're not doing a great job, we're going to cut your budget, you better get your shit together, then, we'll see what happens. I doubt they'll do
Like
anything.
Coach Shavy, get your ish together.
Yeah, because I just don't see them doing anything. They're feckless. They like to talk a big game, but when it comes down to it, I think they're all going to back each other. They're all part of the government. They're all going to back each other.
Yeah, very good point. We're going to read a few more comments, guys. Mainly just key ones that we notice. Not trying to, purposely skip over anything. Let me see here. Eric Carter, welcome back. He said, "What's up, gents? Sorting comic books, selling them off to buy crypto." Nice. You can, depending on which ones you have, especially the rare. Great time to take advantage of that, guys. So, I even have a few more extra things. I have an Xbox, like the newest Xbox, right? The Series S, not the X. And I literally played it once, and it's just sat there and collected dust. And I'm like, why didn't I ever just put that back in a box and just sell it? I've been more of a PlayStation guy or a PC guy. I'm just not really into Xbox, but it's like that still has value. Might as well use it for crypto or whatever. I have quite a few things here that like have value, like good things, and like I added up and probably could sell like $1,000 worth of stuff. And I'm like, you know what? That could be more crypto, especially at these prices. Kev Cleveland, welcome back. He says, "What's up, all?" Ahmed says, "Didn't New York sue KuCoin like last week?" Wrapping on that, yeah, it was about 2 weeks ago, something like that.
Yeah, sued KuCoin, and then said that Ethereum is an unregistered security.
Yeah. All right, let's go further down. Let me see if there's anything specific. Just trying to catch up. Mick.
Don't say it.
Yeah. Welcome back. I do love the the 80s synthwave avatar. Looks really cool. But welcome back, Mr. Mick PHUCK. And yeah. KK, welcome back. Cool. Best time to become wealthy is right now. So yeah, I mean, glad that what's his face is taking care of selling some of his comics, right? But yeah, best time to be wealthy is right now. Bye until blood shoots out of your eyes. Ooh, jeez. And then you buy more. All right. And let's see here. A lot of deep dives online about Cypherium. Do your own research. Absolutely. Do your own research when it comes to anything and everything, right? All right. Have I missed any quant news? Nope, not today. So usually when it's the whole thing with what I got going on with Sean, what he has got going on with us for Utility Talk Now, this is the unique segment of the week where we focus on one specific project and so on. And if anything, people seem to like it. It's it's probably our most popular show. But when it comes to the regular lineup of news, that's typically just with me. And that will be, if you're looking for that, stay tuned tomorrow for that. And I'll definitely bring it to you guys. And I do keep up with the quant updates daily. Anyway, so let's see. Jetpack says, "Do you think it's too early for Cypherium to feel like you are missing out?"
No, if you like Cypherium and if you think it's legit and it's going to be moving some money out there in the new financial future, that there's no better time like the present, right? I mean, if it does gain some notoriety, it gets some press out there in the next 6 months, year, whatever. When FedNow takes off in July, you'll start to see whether Cypherium has any legs or not. Like that's going to tell you if it doesn't move, if it's not being used, if you're not hearing anything about it, then maybe it takes longer, or maybe it was just a dud.
Yeah. I'll read 2 more comments, and then we got to kick it back because we're going to try to hopefully, end the show right around the 2-hour mark. I don't know if we accomplish it, but we'll try. KK says, "Sean, right? Why in the world wouldn't they have their own digital? I think we are not giving those sneaky bastards enough credit." All right. And then go ahead.
He's talking about CBDCs, and these central banks. Are they not going to have their own? I mean, they're not going to develop their own technology. They're going to use something that's already been developed for them. But yeah, that is also, that was what I got back to earlier when I was talking about, doubting whether these use cases are really going to come true or whether it's going to be something that we've not even heard of yet. And I do that with XRP as well. So, and this next one, comparing CPH with XRP, there are cursory comparisons, I guess you could say. Yes, they can be used for cross-border payments, as just about anything can. And then interoperability, I think Cypherium, if it's legit for what they say it is, then it has interoperability where XRP doesn't necessarily focus on that. So, but again, we're going to have an issue when we start talking about where's the liquidity coming from. How is Cypherium going to start moving all of this money when they have a market cap of what, $26 million? Right, that's going to be a real problem.
Yeah, no kidding. All right, so I want to welcome you. That's a great question you have for Sean Gumte. Welcome. And also want to welcome Kirk Angel and Summa Flood. Welcome back. Get your money out of these banks. Yeah, with a collapse of the banks, that might not be a bad idea, right? It's a heck of a lot better than not having access to your funds. All right, so Edward Vincent, welcome. He says, you down with utility? Yeah, you know me. All right, thank you for being here, Edward. Let's kick it back into our outline. But before we do so, we're going to take a quick pause for station identification. Give me just a moment. And if anything, check out our new site. For the most part, most of you guys are familiar with it, but it is ctnnetwork.net. And basically, it's free. Doesn't cost you anything. You can send direct messages to other members by clicking on members, sending messages if you're not into the whole Twitter thing. Here's our forum. And I believe that Mr. Who is it? Not BlackRock. It is. Oh, shoot. Let me set that. But yes, we have some moderators there and so on. Check it out. Any particular news you have. So I don't know if Jay is watching, aka Jose Mendez. If you're watching, Jay, man, just drop it over here, my friend. And if anything, it won't just be me, it'll be other people who can respond to anything. So if you got some crypto you want to shill, go click on categories, for instance. And if anything, you could drop some of that in there. We also have the app where you can join CT Network on Spaces by Wix. We'll give Sean another plug. Sean the Crypto Smith, who is our lovely co-host that's here twice a week with us for Utility Talk Now on Mondays and now Wednesdays as well, twice a week, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. And speaking of which, he's part of a creators lineup, 2-Bit, some of these other guys, Shaka, Daniel Gayton, Michael the Crypto Lounge, the lovely Maria Anderson, even Wadi the Crypto Hunter, heck, even Michael Montclair. Shout out to Michael Montclair once again. Congratulations again on your fiance, or having a fiance, I should say, who said yes. Today was his magical day. That's so awesome, man. Very happy for you. There's Edward Vincent of Top Shelf Crypto. Heck, there's JC the Man, Cornwell's son, Space Chick. Watch out for Rule Black, guys. He's going to be with us, special guest this coming Thursday. And
nice.
Yeah, so and that segment will be focused on LCX. Apparently, Rule is very knowledgeable about LCX. I'm like, that's cool. I just finally got into LCX last night and bought $1,200 worth. And I looked at it, I was like, dang, I could have had basically double my LCX if I would have got into it, like when you guys, originally were mentioning it. But I did wait for a pullback. I didn't get in at 13 or 14 cents. Thank God. I paid about, I think, slightly under 8 cents. So not the end of the world. But anyway, here's his channel, The Crypto Smith. You just simply click on there. It takes you to his YouTube page. It would be nice to see him tick up to 1.80. That'd be super cool. And he covers, for instance, XRP, obviously Cypherium. He, jazzed me a couple weeks ago. Did very well in that particular video. And he does live streams as well. But anyway, yeah, just thought I'd give him a quick plug for station identification. You're very welcome. Let's jump back into our outline, and after that, we'll get back more into some comments.
I especially liked how you referred to me as your lovely co-host.
You are a lovely co-host.
Gives me the warm and fuzzies right there.
All right. Anyway, so let's get back into what we have for you guys. So, this next part is going to be where This guy, and if you're not familiar with him, here's his channel. His name is Cypherium Superior Trading. You might be a type of guy in which you don't like to hear any of this because you may have attitude that this is FUD. I don't like this. I wish Crypto Talk Now. I wish you guys would just be raw all the way. We don't do that, to be honest. That's just something that I've never been that type of person. Don't get me wrong. Like even with Jasmine, I want to be raw with Jasmine. But if there's anything that needs to be looked more into, right? It has to be looked into. This is crypto, and let's face it. Even though we assume, I should say assume, but the general consensus is, well, just go with the blue chips. You're 100% safe, or the ISOs. You're 100% safe. There's nothing bad. This could happen with anything. Perfect example. We did cover what happened with HBAR and then we gave you guys the direct response regards to the hack. We gave you, for instance, the information for what happened with ALBT. Now it's Nexera. So we always point out these things. We're not just turning a blind eye to, something that's objective, right? We got to look and be more transparent when it comes to any of this because let's face it, it could be very volatile and it's crypto. You know what I mean? There's still not that clarity that we're looking for, but that is what we're looking for. All right, so let's go ahead and play this. And you're going to hear, I think, the phone call here coming up soon. But yeah, let's go ahead and jump right into that right now. Smash that like if you haven't done so already. Thank you again for joining us here tonight for Utility Talk Now, part of Crypto Talk Now.
So that way my tab is at risk. It's already at risk. Why fight your risk? Again, simple research. It's not hard to do this stuff, ladies and gentlemen. Take it upon yourself and actually sit down and figure out whom and what you're investing in. With that being said, as always, be cognizant, be aware, and I'll see you guys in the next video breakdown. Enjoy this little tiny video clip of my phone conversation with the WeWorks individuals.
Please state your name after the tone and go up with the site connected.
Cypress D.
The number you have called is not available. Please leave a message after the tone.
Not available. Interesting. Okay.
Hey, this is from WeWorks. I can see here that you have requested for callback.
Hey, my friend, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm very well. My name is Cypress Demanencore. I am the CEO of Cypherium Superior Trading, and I was looking to actually get in contact with someone that is supposed to be in your series of buildings, yet they have no actual listed contact information. I was wondering if you could maybe direct me.
Yeah, sure. I can give you their contact number. Do you know the address?
Give me 1 second. Let me just pull that up for you real fast. Okay, so the address is WeWork, 36th Street, New York. But they don't have a building floor or anything like that. I could tell you what the company's name is. Maybe do you work directly in the building?
This is the WeWork Global Support.
Okay,
And
yes.
that would be at 36th Street.
Yes, 36th Street.
One moment. I'm currently checking.
Sure.
Okay, got it. Tell me when you're ready.
Sure. Is this the phone number you're going to give me?
Yeah, the contact number directly with the admin on site.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much. Ready when you are.
Right, that would be 917-473-2641.
2641. And this is the direct admin contact for the WeWorks building on 36th Street?
Yes, correct. That was a bit.
Okay, thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
Alrighty, have a good one.
You the
Bye
same.
for now.
Okay. Alrighty, let's call the direct admin line for WeWorks.
Sorry, but this number is currently not in service. Please try again later.
What? The number's not in service? What the heck? 917-473-2641.
Sorry, but this number is currently not in service. Please try again later.
All right, so the number that the guy gave me is not in service. It's called WeWorks back.
Hey there, thanks for calling WeWork. To help us connect you with the right team, please choose from the following options. For all other questions, press 3. You've reached the support team at WeWork headquarters. Just a heads up that this call may be recorded for quality assurance and training purposes. Please hang on while we find a team member to assist you.
Hello.
Definitely WeWork Global Support. This is a courtesy call from the callback request.
Hey, how are you, my friend? I was just calling in regards to attempting to find some contact information for a WeWorks address.
Sure, for which WeWork?
Sure. So the address of the company that I'm looking for is established according to their website in WeWorks building 30 on 36th Street in New York. I just talked to a representative from WeWorks and they gave me a number, but it seems that that number is out of service. I can provide you with that number to maybe see if you have a different number for that building.
Sure. Do you have the name of the building?
The building, it just says the address is WeWorks 36th Street
The name.
in New York.
Let's check if we have a location there.
Sure. It looks like on Google you guys do, but it doesn't look like there's a admin number for the WeWorks building. It says 3537 36th Street, Queens, New York.
Can you please provide me the number they gave you?
Yeah, the gentleman gave me the number 917-473-2641.
Oh, looks like that's the wrong number. I have a different number here.
Okay, cool. If you wouldn't
I
mind.
can give you that number.
Sure.
All right, so it's 347
352
352 9055.
Yeah, let me just read that back just so we are clear. It's
347-352-9055.
Yes, that's correct.
okay, outstanding, ma'am. Thank you so much. I appreciate your help.
You're welcome.
Alrighty,
Have
have
a good rest of your day.
you the same.
On WeWork.
Alrighty, let's call this number. Let's get in touch with Cypherium, man. What the heck's going on?
WeWork Studio Square.
Hey, my friend, how are you doing today?
Good, how can I help you?
Hey, my name is Cypress Domenicore. I'm the CEO of CyberX Superior Trading. I was actually looking to get in contact with a company that has an address location at your building. And I was wondering if you could maybe potentially get me in touch with them. I don't see a contact information phone number for this company. But it says on their website that they're located at your building.
Yeah, so unfortunately, I am unable to give out the contact information for our members.
Okay, could you just at least verify to me that these people are there so it saves me a trip coming all the way out there to check? I could give you the name of the company.
Yeah, so I promise I'm not trying to not be helpful, not trying to be unhelpful, but it is against our policy to confirm or deny or give contact info out for the members. Your best bet would be to maybe email them and get in contact with them, but it's just something I can't do.
Okay, I mean, if their contact information is your contact information, that doesn't make sense, no?
Yeah, so so this is a WeWork, so we provide the office space for the members. So we're not necessarily the same company. We just provide the space.
Okay,
And
so it's kind of
for-
just like a leasing organization, like you guys just go by
Correct.
lease.
That is correct, yes.
Okay, so if this said company were to have leased office space, it would be temporary, correct? Okay, so they might not even be there anymore. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, that is possible, yeah.
Okay, outstanding. Thank you, my friend. I do appreciate the help.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Alrighty, bye. What? So hold on. A company that's doing work with major banking institutions doesn't even have a physical location? Oh, buddy. Interesting. Very interesting.
I won't stop till I hear him say
And there you have it. I mean, there's the whole entire outline from Cyprix Superior Trading, and that was part 2. I'm sure he's probably going to do a part 3. Would you agree, Sean?
Yeah, he probably is. I don't know. And I'll be honest, I'm with the way he's doing his research, and I'm probably out on a part 3. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know how much more he can do. And I think some of the things, like look at the phone call stuff. When I was watching that video for the first time, I already knew what was going to happen, right? I mean, we already knew it was going to go nowhere. He wasn't going to, Sky wasn't going to pick up the phone, when he called and be like, "Hey, what's going on, dude?" So
Can you imagine if that happened?
he's like,
If
"Hey,
that
this guy,
happened,
what's up?" Yeah.
if that happened, I would be like, well, that right there actually might outweigh the Cyprix Superior Trading's coverage. Just being able to have direct access to Sky
he'd
Gal.
probably have to erase his video, or do some editing quickly. But yeah, so I think we all understood probably what was going to happen. It wasn't, they weren't going to get anybody there because of what he explained and I explained what those businesses are. It's just a kind of an office leasing space. And I'm sure somebody has a good explanation on why they don't have a physical location. And I would guarantee you they do have a physical location, right? And somebody mentioned before, Binance doesn't have an office, but they do have an office. They're just choosing not to put that and make that public, right? You don't think there are a large group of people in their office who are constantly working on adding tokens, taking tokens off, security, right? And yeah, some of those are going to be, at home positions, or some of those are going to be remote, but they're going to have an office where they're meeting. And I don't think CZ runs everything all by himself. I guarantee you, he has other people who help run, portions of that business as well. So that's, I'm sure some things can be explained, and I think he's overreaching on some. Some are legitimate red flags and make you question, like, what kind of a business is this? It seemed very unprofessional to me, the way they have it presented to the public, and then the message that they're sending on Twitter. So what's your take after this one?
My take is I'm not willing to get out for one main reason, and that is this FOMO, right? The fear of missing out. I don't like the idea that, I do, and I don't like the idea that there could still be something there. All right. And some people could say, you know what, this is hopium, Max. Yeah, I guess you could say this is a hopium project to a sense. And if there is something real solid there, as far as like, the utility gets activated, what about all this thing with the miners that they got going on? Some of these other particular things, right? So when I do more of a deep dive, for the past, and like you brought it up, what was it from? Was it CoinDesk you pulled that from? Or Cointelegram?
Cointelegram, I believe.
Yeah. So my thing is, to dismiss all of that, previous years and so on, I'm not going to dismiss it just yet. Do I agree 100% that on the surface, it looks very unprofessional, the way Sky Gal goes about things,
Yes.
promoting it like it's a meme coin. Oh yeah, that definitely, brings that much more weight to the argument of, I don't know if I want to go into this. And so for somebody on the outside, I could understand that argument. But for me, I'm just not. I was comfortable with what I put in, right? So I put in like a little over $300 into it, nothing big, you know what I mean? And I'm glad that I just decided to, put that particular amount instead of like, what, this is literally going to handle 100% of the payment rails, and it's not going to be Ripple's XRP and all that stuff. At the end of the day, guys, when it comes to all this, right, as the saying goes, put in what you can afford to lose. And so my attitude was, it's not going to be the end of the world. An extra $300 is not going to make me, go to Skid Row or something crazy thing. Put me, poor man's home, as the saying goes, right? I don't want to Skid Row, but you get one point, in that regard. We're going to kick it into a few more comments. Sorry, Sean, looks like we're going a little over 2 hours. Sorry about that. I'll read a few more comments. We're going to have a brief outline, not super long, in regards to some of the community response to this. So I'm still promising that. I do see you have something that you may possibly want me to add to the stream. Do you want me to pull that up real quick?
Nope, you're good. I was just back on Twitter.
Okay, no problem. So we have, for instance, River says, I myself don't hold Cypherium. I just am trying to get some more XRP. I don't have much of it. Okay. M. Evans says, why would the Fed put their seal on the private company's document as though it's theirs? Okay. Dan the Man, thank you for being here. Ooh, that looks very familiar. That looks so familiar. I haven't seen that logo in forever. Okay, was that Georgetown? Yeah, I used to be a Hoyas fan, believe it or not, back in the day. Not only that, my middle school has that same logo, and then they changed names. Long story, but welcome. He says could be a distraction, but hell, buy some anyway, just in case. That's exactly what I was trying to say earlier. I'm glad somebody else recognized that. Hold on a second. I'm just going to get further up. All right, so we have a few more comments, quite a bit actually. Max, why don't you use Solar? Because I already had it on my my main account for. I had a bunch basically stored there. But yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. All right. Let me see here. Crypto Queen Space Chick sent me to the best live. I just subscribed. Thank you for great, true information for us newer investors. Well, thanks for being here, Crypto Queen. And shout out to Space Chick, good content creator, great content creator, and does a great job of representing the Volt community. I think she's just a good overall person too. Thank you for the support, and shout out to Space Chick. And again, let's welcome a new person here, Crypto Queen 33. All right. If I skip a lot of comments, it's not done on purpose. I want to welcome who's going to be our guest co-host on Thursday, which is Mr. Rule Black. He says, what's up, guys? Thanks for being here, guys. Thursday's focus will probably be on LCX. Looking forward to having you on, Rule. And let me go further down. Let's see here. Here's a good question from Tim Shea. I get CFX on MXC. Does it help get CFX instead of Cooch? Oh, okay. Thought you had something. Sometimes when you read stuff, you're thinking you're talking about Cypherium with different abbreviation. Ever Vincent, clear that guy is not working in that building. T-Lens, I'd like to welcome you. What you walk in on? It's kind of like this FUD debate. And I'm not a big fan of FUD. God knows I'm not. But it's something that got brought up with our community to address this whole thing with Cypherium. We may do a part 3. We may not. It just depends. But anyway, let's see here. I'll read this one more, and then we'll kick it into the community response to this news that was dropped in regards to the topic of Cypherium. It says, does the Cypherium guy know that even Constellation Network does not show their public office address anywhere? They work with the government. Yeah, the United States Air Force, for crying out loud. And secret projects, that's the answer. That's a good point. And if anything, maybe somebody else brings that up. That's a great response, Sean. What was mentioned right here from Equilibrium.
Yeah, no, and that's the same thing like with Binance, right? I guarantee you Binance has an office. They have a central office where I'm sure there are dozens of people, if not hundreds of people, work, right? And a lot of people can be remote. I do understand that. The game has changed, in this last couple of years. But a company that size that deals with that much information, that much data, that much security, right? They're going to have a central location where they have a lot of their business assets, which makes sense. They may not want to make that public, so they're not getting people just kind of running in trying to say hi, and bothering people or causing problems. So I totally understand that. That sounds similar to for Constellation DAG. I get that as well. So that is possible, but you have to at least represent the fact that you have an office, and for them to not. I think the bigger point here is them not showing a public office is that the inference that somebody's making in these red flags that they're bringing up for some reason is just FUD. That to me makes no sense. People who are investing in your project, they have legitimate questions, right? You should have legitimate answers for them instead of just calling them FUD and dismissing them.
Yeah, 100% true.
Right? There's no, yeah. Somebody's put money in. They can have questions, and a lot of these questions are legitimate.
Yeah, that's what comes with the territory, as the saying goes. Olamide states, Cypherium gives Saitama advice. as far as, you know, promoting it like a meme coin with like how Sky Gal goes about it, I would agree with that.
Yeah.
And Cool Cats is right. These days, you don't really need an office. It's so very true. And, you know, let's face it. Let's say you're trying to run a business. Say you have an Amazon business, right? Do you really need to focus your Amazon business on physical goods? No, you don't. You can sell nothing but digital goods. Okay. With that said, do you need a physical office for that? No, you do not. So,
Correct.
you know, that's the whole thing. I mean, maybe Sky Gal is looking at it from that perspective, but at the same time, if you are connected to the federal government, which they claim to be, then at the same time, you expect to be able to get hold of somebody. And how about this for size? Now, towards the end of the video, he points out the what's it called? WeWorks.
WeWork, yeah.
Yeah, WeWorks, right? Why have WeWorks listed on the site, and then it have somebody who, like he did, try to contact them, and then get the response from the customer service? Well, we're not allowed to disclose it. So, what? Hello, somebody get a memo down at Cypherium that what's the point even listening if that's going to be the case?
Yeah,
Like,
that's there. That's going to create
Yeah.
FUD, right? That's going to
Yeah.
create questions.
that's warranted FUD, in my opinion.
Yeah.
All right, this real quick. Real Black. So it's on Cypherium's Twitters and on the FedNow's own site that Cypherium is a public service provider. Yes.
Yeah, and I addressed that, and yes, they are a showcase provider for FedNow, but they're one of 103 showcase providers, right? And anybody can apply to be a showcase provider on the FedNow system or on the FedNow showcase website. So it doesn't necessarily mean they're going to be used.
Yeah, very good point. Crypto McDizzle, what up, G? I'm on the fence on Cypherium U. I'm not too much on the fence. I'm still going to keep some. And if it took a drop, just me personally, I'm not saying, you know, some people are like, well, I'm just gonna do what Max does. Don't do that. All right. This is only your own personal decision. If I see a big pullback, I might DCA one more time, and then that might just be it. I might be like, you know what, I'm comfortable with this. We'll see how this goes. And I think like a lot of projects, we're all seeing how it goes. So and we'll continue to cover it and so on. Maybe we don't just put out a lot of videos all the time, but, you know, key things that we see for updates, we'll definitely drop that. But guys, we got to get back into our outline because we're running a little bit over on the time. I want to respect Sean's time because, you know, he's probably got work in the morning and so on. And just like a lot of you guys, right? We all do. But let's go ahead and jump back into this. Here's some of the community response in regards to this. And let's jump into that. So here it is. And shout out to this particular gentleman whose name is Richie Kershaw. He says, CPH, as in Cypherium, some people saying this project is not legit and doesn't appear on the FedNow website itself, but it does. Check it out for yourselves. To note, the FedNow service provider showcase list is in a different order every time you view. And of course, Sean pointed this out earlier, but just in case you're trying to catch up, here's where he highlights that the specific part where it says accelerate your organization's readiness for instant now payments with FedNow Explorer off-site. Right.
But I see that's the point. And you want to be ticky-tack about it and say it's not on the actual FedNow website. And it's not on the actual FedNow website. It's not on the Federal Reserve website. It's on off-site, right? A service provider showcase.
Right.
You know, that they did it, and I think they did that for a specific reason, which I explained earlier. But so if you want to be technical, right, and if people want to go down that road, then no, it's not on the Federal Reserve website.
Right. On top of that, you can go here, lower right corner, says visit the service provider showcase. Again,
but the link to it is, yes, the link to it is. So to me, yes, it's on the Federal Reserve website. That's how I would answer it.
Right. And then on top of that, here's this, right? And it does show Cypherium. All right. It says Cypherium blockchain, digital currency interoperability framework. So there's that. A little bit more from the community response. Because, I mean, let's face it. I mean, some of these guys are, you know, not just Cypherium maxis like, you know, Web36, but, you know, it's if you're passionate about anything, why wouldn't you want to have a response to the FUD? And I can appreciate that. This comes from Cypherium _TR. He says systems and methods for selecting and utilizing committee of validator nodes in a distributed system. Because, some people are like, well, okay, I want to see the US connection, right? Something from the Fed. So as you can see right here, current assignee, Cypherium Blockchain Inc. You go further down, you see on, I believe that's February 20th of 2020, application filed by who? Cypherium Blockchain Inc. Okay.
And that's for a patent, the U.S. Patent Office.
Correct.
And that's
Thank
real.
you.
I've looked it up myself.
Yep. And this is why we're pointing out some of these things, because it's, as the saying goes, do your own research. We're bringing you guys the research. So you can verify this yourself. You may say, well, this is from Twitter. Again, guys, look into it more yourself. You'll see that is a thing. I'm glad Sean pointed that out. There's this guy. His name is Only a Nostradamus. Wow, that's a unique name. Anyway, he says, thanks to the Fudster, I'm sure he's referencing the guy we showed earlier. He says he has re-entered into Cypherium. It says CBDC is coming, and people that are not buying into Cypherium now will cry later while losing their money in speculative tokens. And that's my key thing. It's like, right, what if there is something solid there? I'm okay with this amount that I have. And that might be your same situation. Anyway, FedNow has not listed Cypherium to their list to create just speculation. They intend to use it. And of course,
and I'll point out that see that, and that's that slight misrepresentation. Right, they're just saying that FedNow is going to use Cypherium, and that's not how it works. Right, FedNow isn't going to use Cypherium. FedNow allows businesses, their partners, corporations, individuals to choose if they want to use Cypherium or any one of the dozens of other, faster payment platforms that's listed on the FedNow site. So, and that's where we get into this. We can get into these arguments of. We see these statements get overblown, like Cypherium is the only one going to be used, right? That the FedNow faster payment system is only going to be using Cypherium, and that is absolutely not the case.
It's not the case at all. And if anything, we talk about you hate to see tribalism in crypto projects. And what do we know is part of the mix when it comes to tribalism, everybody? It's meme token projects. And then that, again, fuels the debate of why the hell is he Sky Gal going about this way? And I would be 100% with you. I do not like that. If that's enough for you to pull out Cypherium, or you're not even into Cypherium, where you're like, you know what, this is too much hopium for me. I'd ready to take that money that I was going to put into Cypherium and stack more quants, XRP, XLM, XTC, HBAR, some of the other projects and so on. I'd be like, you know what? You make a very, very valid point. My key thing is, though, the what if on this is supposed to be something that's going to potentially rival Ripple. Well, even if it's a drop in the bucket, for me, I don't want to miss out on that. So to me, it is a lot of hopium and a lot of FOMO.
And that's fine. Right.
Yeah,
but you're diversified, which is the way to go. People like to call me an XRP maxi, but I am not an XRP maxi. I question whether XRP is going to be as big as I have it built up in my own mind, right? So that's why I'm diversified. I've got XLM and Quant and XTC and little Cypherium and some other tokens out there, because I know not all of them are going to be absolute home runs. I don't think. I think some will probably do better than others. Hopefully, maybe I've got my bag stacked correctly, but I doubt it based on my personal history. But that's diversified and you don't have to worry about it.
And not only that, how about this? We know that a lot of these projects are solid projects, and the key thing is not all of them are going to pop off all at the same time. So if you have ones popping off on, first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter of whatever particular year, again, that's one of the key things. All right, let's get more into some of these community responses. So we showed you the whole thing about the application filed by Cypherium blockchain. Let's talk about this real quick. And I apologize, Sean, for going a little bit over.
Okay.
So here we go. And it's this right here. This comes straight from Mr. Sky Gao. He is, of course, the CEO of Cypherium. He says, the reason why we use Google Voice is because as Google Cloud partner, we have free access for Google Voice Business. Over 95% of American startups are co-working space and or virtual phone. But fudsters want you to believe there's a problem with that. And of course, we talked about that earlier, and that's a very valid point. I would be 100% with Sky in that regard. Sky has an outline here. On top of that, he says the SEC used, quote, common enterprise to sue Ripple. Quote, Ripple at times highlighted the experience, expertise, and abilities of the team it had assembled. Therefore, we choose not to list core team members, but our community volunteers on our website instead. And of course, there's that whole thing from the sec.gov/litigation.com. You can look more into that if you want. Number 3, look at this. Do fudsters really think that the world's largest central bank creates a website with taxpayer money only to host rumors? That's a valid point. I'm glad he's bringing that up. Reed, he says, for what does the service provider do with FedNow? We have been in touch with the Fed for over 5 years, and fudsters are not qualified to comment on it. Number 4, real quick. Apparently, fudsters don't use the same criteria for most of other cryptos that don't even have any address/phone number. They are either motivated by monetary gain or fear that will be growing or grow big, but nothing shall defeat us. That right there, I mean, I know it's a great sponsor, he's passionate, but it does give the meme vibe to it. Like, yeah, let's go. Our cult following of, I don't know, cult Dow. You may be into cult Dow, but you get my point. I mean, it has that cult meme feel to it. Like, nobody does that other than Saitama back in the day, right? Like, oh, don't fuzz Saitama. And if you do, you are no longer a part of our cult. All right.
Yeah, I feel a little icky when he says stuff like that.
You need to word it like that, man. You can have somebody else. Why does it all have to come from you? So how about this? The facts that fuzzers asked me for AMAs after, not before they posted the videos, are a big red flag. And only reasonable explanation is market manipulation. Authorities will look into this. And of course, there's some people that responded to him like, look, man, like, you don't need to respond like this. Other people are like, yeah, rah, rah, rah. Here's what we have. This is why we bring it to you guys. And if anything, my key thing is recognizing just that, some of what you see right here. And basically that's it as far as the particular outline.
So let me give you my take.
Yeah, I want your take. By all means, give me your take.
Okay. So, and I'll give you the, just going through Sky's response, right? First of all, he's over a week late. So it seems like he's had time to come up with answers. I get the Google Voice, Google Phone, whatever, but I would ask the question to every single ISO, compliant token out there and all of the blue chips. How many of them use Google Voice or Google Phone? That's just my question.
Exactly.
The number 2 thing, he says the SEC used common enterprise to sue Ripple, and then he tried to explain Ripple at times highlighted the experience, expertise, and abilities of the team. Okay, so he clearly doesn't understand what the term common enterprise means. So, but he's already using that to disparage another project, right? And that's how he does this. So I didn't care for that, and I also didn't care for the fact that he doesn't understand the term common enterprise. And then let's see, what was my other one? I had a number 3. Oh, market manipulation. Oh, yeah. The fact that FUD.
Do you want me to add it? You want me to add to the stream?
Yeah, you can. Go ahead. So it's just number 5. The fact that the FUDsters asked me the AMAs after, not before, they post videos, a big red flag. So apparently they had the idea of market manipulation on their mind. So he was going to get his however many hundreds of people, and they were all going to manipulate the price of Cypherium. I'm assuming that's what he's alleging here. Authorities will look into this, right? Which is completely false. Nobody's going to look into this. He's aggrandizing himself, right? He's making himself look bigger. The authorities won't care about that, about somebody pointing out red flags, on a YouTube video of a crypto project.
And again, he can have somebody else part of his team to do this, not the head honcho. That'd be like Gilbert Verdian. You remember when I don't know if you remember this, but the whole thing with Greg Lunt did that whole thing about the supply and like what's the response, and their response basically was, hey, look, we're not going to really comment on that at the time being. And then that guy even sorted out eventually, and they fixed it on CMC. So my point is, you don't see those top dogs jumping into the debate like he's doing.
Yeah,
It just
it's-
has so much meme-esque feel to it. And I will say I do not like that. Not to the point where I back out, but I don't like it.
yeah, it's not a good look. To be trying to put down other projects to help yours look better, right? That's never a good look. That's very unprofessional. And then a simple fact that he's trying to address everybody himself, like nobody does that. Like this is it
A
just
little bit of an ego.
yeah,
A lot of
and it's
ego.
unprofessional, right? It's just unprofessional.
Yeah. Yeah,
So-
and some people are gonna have the attitude. Well, if he's unprofessional like that, then I don't want to be part of that.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. So yeah. So there's that. I mean, I think everybody understands where I sit on it. I haven't put enough in to want to pull my money out because I think I'd be at probably a little bit of a loss right now. Let me look.
I think I'm still in the profits.
Let me look at the price. Let's see. Cypherium, 5 cents. Oh yeah. Well, yeah, I'm right there. So anyway, but that's neither here nor there.
I'm $9.15 up in profits. Ooh.
Yeah, I'm right about there with you. It doesn't mean anything to me. Like I said, the upside is a lot bigger than the downside. If I lose, $400 or $500, it is what it is. I've lost more than that in this space. I'll probably lose more than that, somewhere down the road as well. FOMOing into a project. But yeah, that's where I'm at. Unprofessional. I don't think it's a rug pull. I don't think it's a scam. I think they could do a lot better in their presentation, a lot better in dealing with the community, and making things make sense to people, right? If anybody just did a cursory look on their website and then wanted to call them or wanted to send them an email, what are they going to get? They're going to get questions like, hey, how come I can't reach anybody there? Why is a phone number listed that you can't actually call anybody? Why even list it? Like you said, why list the address to the place when you know that it's going to get, people when it's going to raise red flags? So it's that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and that's disappointing to see that. Guys, we're just going to read a few more comments, and if anything, I think we're going to wrap up the show here because we went a lot over. We usually shoot for like 2 hours. RM says Cypherium and Mbridge use hot stuff. Sky has a patent on hot stuff. Yeah, we covered that in the past, actually. I think I also did a deep dive video in regards to some of that. Boomer says, I probably get Cypherium if it would list on crypto.com and a Coinbase. And that's a good point because, a lot of times people feel as though that with those particular exchanges, those are standout exchanges. And to them, that means that crypto.com and Coinbase has well vetted them, especially crypto.com.
I'm going to tell you right now,
Yeah.
Cypherium is never going to be listed on crypto.com or Coinbase. I'm going out on a limb, right? This is just my personal opinion. I'm saying they are never going to be listed on that. If something happens with FedNow and they just blow up, there's not going to be a reason to have them being held and being traded by mass retailers.
That's a good point.
That doesn't make any sense to me at all.
Yeah.
And if you have a different opinion, I'd love to hear it.
But it's okay. Just real quick. So that same debate can be said about Ripple's XRP and Coinbase relisting XRP if that's the case. We all feel as though that come on, who doesn't feel like Ripple's XRP is going to take off? That's not focused on retail. So
I also feel the same way, right? And about XRP and Ripple and Brad Garlinghouse has specifically stated XRP was never designed for retail holders, right? That's not the way they designed it. When in the beginning, when they started selling their on-demand liquidity, people started, companies, corporations started buying XRP tokens, and they turned around and then sold that to exchanges, right? And I think for a couple of years, XRP or Ripple sold XRP to some exchanges, but they have not sold to exchanges since 2019, right? That the stuff that comes onto exchanges are by the way of other institutional holders that turn around and sell to the exchanges. So that's kind of how that merry-go-round works. But I also hold the same opinion about XRP. Is that how is it going to work? In my head, how if it's as big as I think it's going to be, and as big as some others think it's going to be, it's not really designed for retail. So I think maybe that's part of the FUD, maybe part of the lawsuit. Trying to drive everybody out of crypto, in general, and drive everybody out of XRP. Because it's not going to be worth anything, and we're going to call it a security, and you're not going to be able to hold it anymore, and you're going to have to go through, jump through hoops in order to buy it. and you have to go through your broker dealer, same place you buy your stocks, and bonds, right? That's the thing. So,
but it
who
creates
knows?
that much more supply and demand for the asset, in my opinion.
Yeah.
If you had to go through all those extra steps, why is that? All right. I'm gonna read this and then I'll just see if there's some key ones, and we really got to wrap it up. I got to respect our time that we have. McDizzle says, even if they have a server location at one location, a small officer with people's that's funny, financial info with people's info with multiple workers, another depth department at another place, so they rent a place like that to handle. Okay. All right, let me see where we're at. And Stump says, just because you're on the FedNow service showcase off site. Okay, hold on a second. Let me go further down. Let's see where we're at. Oh, you're going to say what Sean said about the participants on the FedNow service showcase. Okay, good point. Stump Rider, thank you for that. Let me see. Did you say anything about Cypherium and the digital yuan? No, we didn't say that today. I know that you sent me that link before, and I do apologize for that.
Yes, there are articles out there that have been written. I think it was a couple years ago where they were working with China and the digital yuan. So that I believe that is a thing, as far as I can tell.
Yeah, and Ted, I believe it's Ted of Lift Capital. He did a very good job of covering that, and I get it. His community, they've been covering Cypherium, I think, since it was a half a cent. So I mean, like that's awesome. And I don't want people to think that hey, you guys are tuning into the Rodney of utility, right? Nothing against Rodney. I like Rodney. I think he's a good guy overall. But my thing is, no, that's not the case. Every now and then, we have got to look at the other side of the debate. You got to. This is people's hard-earned money we're talking about. So I hate to say it. I mean, if people think that Crypto Talk Now or Utility Talk Now, this platform in general is just raw 100%, then I hate to burst your bubble. We are not. We have a tight-knit community, which is awesome, but we are also not that type of community where it's kind of like how Saitama was and may very well still be, right? Where it's that some people are pointing out, well, in your videos section, you guys did a whole bunch of Saitama videos, and it was part of our crypto journey. It's like, we're not going to hide that. It's part of our crypto journey. So
you live and learn. And here's one thing that I respect about you and Larry a lot. And it's kind of the same way I operate. I understand I'm going to be wrong, right? Sometimes I may not be wrong all the time. Hopefully I'm not wrong all the time, but I know that if I'm wrong, or I had the wrong opinion, or I didn't do all of the research maybe I should have, or new information comes out, it's okay for me to change my mind. It's okay for me to address that negativity or that questionable, event that happened on some, project. It's okay for us to question that and say, hey, are we still bullish on this project like we were yesterday, or does this change our mind? Right? It's okay to do that, and the fact that you guys can do that, you can self-reflect and be like, all right, maybe we need to take another look at this now that some new information's coming out or things have changed. Right? We can be adults and say, yeah, you know what, we're going to have to pull our support from some project, right? That's what I do personally. I like to be open and honest about that I can be wrong. I'm going to be wrong. And if I am, and I see that, I'm going to acknowledge it, and be willing to change my mind.
All right. M. Evans says, great live show, guys. Thank you for that. Brian Dowie says, I don't think exchanges have as much XRP as people think. That's a good point. M. Evans, can you apply that thought to XLM? To a sense.
So let me address that one. So, and I know what he's talking about, how the retail holders, right? The issue I have with, connecting the dots with how many retail holders hold XRP and the way it's designed to be used for institutions, and Cypherium. XLM, you can't use that same principle because, in my opinion, XLM is literally going to be the payment token for person-to-person transactions, maybe person-to-business transactions, right? I don't think we're going to be using XRP to personally pay for goods and services in the future. That's going to be behind the scenes. I think we could very well be using the Stellar token or XLM to actually pay for things from your wallet, and it could be used in the form of a CBDC at some point, or it could just be used, person-to-person payment or person-to-business payment.
Let me show you guys something. And Mike Cornwell, if you can come back, pay attention to this for just a brief moment. This was part of my intro from the Stellar video. If you guys saw it, I mean, you don't want to talk about it. It's just like 8 seconds, but you know, this is what we're talking about. This right here. Look at this. This is why I feel as though, yeah, it's just kind of like what Sean was basically saying. Look at this.
Damn, how'd you get one of those?
You like that, huh? Stellar.
Yeah, I gotta get one.
Stellar. Max has some stellar news for you guys. Oh yeah. I'll remove that anyway. But yeah, I mean, pretty cool looking card, huh?
Yeah, it's nice, man. I gotta get my own.
Yeah. All right, let's see here. Where are we at? Oh man, I just lost my spotlight completely.
You read Brian Dowie.
Yeah. All right.
He's complaining that you skip his comments. So
he always says that. He once it's towards the end, he gives me crap. He says Max skips my comments, but reads Stump Writer's retracted comments. I think he's messing with me for the most part because he always does that. I think he's gonna just see if I'm like, oh crap, man, like think I'm serious, but I think he gives me a benefit of that overall. And knowing that, we have to wrap up the show here. All right, so Cool Cat Larry's in that pack. Brian Dowie without Saitama, Larry would only own one bidet. My God. Yeah, see, they're the broskies. These two guys are the broskies. They might not even know each other in real life, but they're the broskies. Anyway, all right. So M. Evans, I agree. XLM is front facing to the public. And I also want to state this real quick. If you guys seen the movie, it's a hilarious movie. Who hasn't seen this? Step Brothers, right? Literally, Brian Dowie, Tim Shea. Anyway, so M. Evans, I agree. XLM is front facing to the public. He's here. Hopefully, you saw that, McDizzle. And then maybe I'll make a GIF out of it or something because I just thought it looked so cool. You know, because it's basic. You know, Mike Horn was always saying at some point you're gonna like you'll have your debit cards and people won't even realize it's tied into crypto. And I was like, you know what, I'm gonna make an intro out of that. So
yeah, it was good. I like that one.
Thanks. Yeah, I got a lot of compliments on that one. All right, Tim, you know, Caroline. All right, we're gonna wrap up things here in a bit. XLM is doing that. Yep, we report on that. The Hervia. There's a one day you will swipe your card. Yep. And crypto will move your money. LOL, all lining up with my initial take. Yeah, absolutely. All right. So we got all that. Thank you for everybody that's been here. Le Grand Commission, welcome. Le Grand Commission. Oui. XRP won't be the actual currency, but it will be the token that gives you access to the actual currency, or they won't backing the currency that will be implemented. Oui. That's the whole thing we've been doing for a long time. You're probably like, what the freaking hell? But all right. So let's go down and let's see. Hendrix, welcome. XLM 200, XRP 400. Okay. Well, with that said, I am going to give a plug one last time to Mr. Sean, the Crypto Smith. And we're also going to do a quick station identification. But yes, welcome again to Hendrix. Hope to see more of you in the future. I know you just came in. But anyway, yes, let's take a pause for station identification. Here is ctnnetwork.net, and this is the creators section. And you see obviously a lot of familiar faces here. But if anything, the man of the hour is Sean the Crypto Smith, co-host of Utility Talk Now. It's a show that is part of our weekly lineup. It's twice a week, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. As you guys know, we do shows literally every single day. Since April 18th of 2022, our 1 year is coming up here soon. Very cool stuff. But give him a sub. You can visit his channel by typing in the space Crypto Smith, or you could go right from there to the CTN, or excuse me, right from CTN site right to YouTube. And here he is. And if you're not subscribed to him, it'd be really cool to see this tick up to 1.80, maybe. And if anything, we'll just give him a chance to talk real quick about himself and the channel before we wrap things up. So we'll give you the last word, Sean. Take it away.
All right. I appreciate it, Max. Always love being here, talking to you guys. The community is awesome. I wanted to say a little shout out to Legrand. He popped in on my live stream on Saturday, so I really appreciate you showing up, a little support there. And everybody else who, of course, shows up to my live streams. I do enjoy that. XRP, XLM, right? Casper, I've done. A bunch of others, you know, I've done before. Jasmine doing well. I need to do another Jasmine video for some updates, because I know Max is just running circles around me on that stuff. I think you put out like 48 videos a day. And every time I look, I'm like, oh my God, he's got another video.
Yeah, this over the weekend, I did put a lot. There's one day I put at 8. I think the other day I put up
Yeah,
5. I
there's
was
a
just,
ton.
I was just, yeah.
But yeah, no, this is fun for me. I am looking to do more video. I haven't done a lot of videos lately. This last week, my son was home from college for spring break, so we were hanging out a lot, working on some projects. But then, this week I'm going to do some more videos, and we're going to get into, and I think I'm going to do a Cypherium video and kind of put all these little pieces together just to kind of give my take on that for other people who are on my channel that may not be over here. And that's about it. That's what I'm doing. Trying to have fun, trying to stay interested in crypto. It's very hard lately with all the negativity going around. It's very hard to stay motivated. I don't know how Max does it. I think he's a robot. He's a robot.
I saw KK's comment. I think it was yesterday with Larry. I did watch the replay. Well, I wasn't able to attend the live. I watched the replay, and he said something like, "He's like, yeah, Max is an AI robot. No human being or something like that is able to stream for that many hours." I'm like, okay, well, that's a nice compliment, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, and then I know people had questions about the XRP loss or the Ripple lawsuit. Obviously, there's a lot of speculation. A lot of the legal experts are thinking before the end of the month, which obviously we've only got a few more days before the end of the month. I don't know, of course, if that's going to happen or not. I think somebody went and they did a legal analysis or timeline analysis of the judge and when she gets all of the information and how long it takes her to rule or, give her findings or whatever decision she makes. And we're hitting that time space, that average time space right now. So I think that's why they're saying it. But anyway, if that happens, here's my prediction. If you want to hear that, I think they throw out. I think the suit against Brad Garlinghouse and the other guy. I can't remember his name. I think that gets dropped. I don't think there's zero information that was presented according to that part. I think she says XRP is not a security, doesn't meet the rules, doesn't meet the guidelines. And then the initial sales of securities and other items, I believe, gets kicked down the road to a court. What do you want to call it? A jury trial. And then we're going to see, right, if the SEC wants to appeal certain parts of it, they're going to appeal that, and we're going to be another 2-3 years into this thing. So I don't think we're going to be over and everything. Oh, the end of the case is coming up. I guarantee you, the end of the case is not coming up. It's whatever side wins, loses, somebody's going to appeal. It's going to kick it down the road another couple of years.
Kicking the can. All right. Well, thank you for that, Sean. And again, thank you so much for your continued support. Join us, part of our family or community. Kimmy, man, you rock. Guys, give Sean the Crypto Smith a sub. I will read just maybe a couple comments, and I really got to wrap this up. And that is this right here. Crypto McDizzle says, I think he says later, folks. I think that's a typo. Twitter space. I wish I could join that. I actually got to help out my dad with some things and, get him some late dinner myself as well. But if you guys are going to marathon, maybe I might be able to join you. I don't know for sure in regards to that. I also have some paperwork I had to fill out tonight, which sucks. But it's something I've been needing to do. But I definitely will join you guys sometimes when it comes to some of those things. And you guys do have a pretty good show. You, Cripex, who was it? Edward Vincent was on there from Top Shelf Crypto. So that's really cool. Glad you guys are doing that. Wayne Side, I want to state, sorry I didn't give you a chance to, or I took a chance to say, hey, what's up? And welcome you earlier, but I want to, of course, welcome you and thank you for being here tonight. But yeah, like everybody's saying, it's been a great show, and it has been. Glad to do these outlines for you guys with XLM Pump along with XRP. I think it will. You might not see it on the short term because it hasn't been doing that lately, but typically it does. Max
they usually
likes
follow each other. Yeah.
Subs. Max likes steak and cheese. I do like that. I haven't had one in probably a year, but yeah. All right, guys. Really appreciate you all. As the saying goes, know what you have, know why you hold it. Again, you've done the research. I still feel as though we're that much more closer to the finish line. And last but not least, check out some of our recorded content for the day if you haven't done so already. Jasmine threw out a really long deep dive in regards to HNT. I think that is a really good distress asset that's recovered. And at these prices, to me personally, into the bull run, that's at least a 25x. And it's been a great show. So I won't keep any longer, check out ctnnetwork.net. Shout out to Larry. Glad to have him back and love the community we have. Thank you so much for joining us here tonight. On behalf of myself, Larry, Sean the Crypto Smith, and the rest of the CTN Network crew, have a great night, everyone. We'll see you back tomorrow at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific for more Crypto Talk Now. And with that said, I'm going to pull us off and we're going to play the outro.
See you guys. See you next time.
Thank you.